What is going on, everybody? It's Victory Monday here at Lineman Life. For those of you joining us today, just like to welcome you in. It's been a smooth Monday, real chill, real laid back. You know, when you get a big win, a milestone win, a statement win, you got to treat yourself a little bit. But welcome into Lineman Life. I'm your observant lineman, Uche Nwaneri. Here with my co-host, as usual, JB, Justin Blaylock.
What it do?
We are your former professional offensive lineman, giving you our takes and our perspectives on all things sports. And today we have a special guest with us, Kendra Middleton.
Hi.
NESN. That's y'all sports network, college sports.
NESN, yeah.
Yes. Welcome in, Kendra. How are you?
I am so much better than I thought I would be because of a Jags dub. I did not expect to win this game. I know we're going to talk about it, but because of that, you can't have a bad day ever.
Well, let me tell you this. We do our predictions on Wednesday. I was the only one that predicted the Jags would win.
Good for you.
Good for you. Diamonds, motherfuckers. I told y'all.
I mean, it's kind of like the broken clock. Because I got 8 Cowboys predictions right, doing the same thing.
Yeah, true.
But no,
do us a favor. If you're in here, hit that like button. If this is your first time, subscribe to the channel. Welcome in. We're going to talk plenty. There's some headlines to talk about. There's some things to talk about from the NFL this Sunday in Week 12. A lot of big games, a lot of games that came down to the wire. Now, obviously, you know, you had Turkey Day, so that was you had the early Thursday games as well. We'll get into all of that, and we will, you know, give our thoughts as we go through it. But, of course, we got to start with my boy Trevor Lawrence. The Jags quarterback, first overall pick last year. You know, he went through a lot last year, and I was telling Jags fans at the time, I was saying, listen, calm y'all ass down. You know, you see what's happening with Urban Meyer. This is a wash year. This is not even considered a rookie year for Trevor Lawrence. Last year when they had Urban Meyer with that whole disaster, with everything that was going on with him, it just wasn't something that you could look at, evaluate, and say, hey, they gave him an opportunity to, like, you know, to get his feet wet and to start to grow. No, it was nothing like that. It was quite the opposite. But he still made they showed us some things throughout the season, but it was not something that was being nurtured in any kind of way that would facilitate the growth of a player into being, you know, or reaching their potential. Now, this year, even with the early growing pains, this is really, all things, you know, equal, this is really his rookie year. This is really the first year with good leadership, with competent coaches. He's been given a system that tailors to his abilities, to what he does best. And, you know, you saw him stumble a little bit early in the season. You saw him make some plays. You saw inconsistency. You saw a couple of bad decisions being made. You know, throwing balls late on scrambles. You know, getting intercepted in the end zone. But you know, that's the hero's journey. Those are the steps you got to take to be able to realize or see the glimpse of what the future could be. And we got a glimpse of that future Sunday against the Ravens. And it's, you know, there's no better way to kind of encapsulate it than to have Trevor Lawrence lead the Jaguars down the field on a game-winning drive against one of the top 5, 10 teams in the NFL?
Oh,
for sure.
With the most electric player in the NFL?
Oh,
and he shred with a good defense, a very good defense. I mean, obviously not, you know, it's not the best that it's ever been, but it's a top tier defense in the NFL with Baltimore. And he shredded their defense all the way down the field. He made perfect throws all the way down the field. And a couple weeks ago, me and JB broke down the throw he made against who was it against? Who were they playing?
Shit.
We broke down another line play. They were playing the Raiders, right? Yeah, the Raiders. They were playing the Raiders when the Raiders ran that crazy stunt. And Trevor Lawrence, instead of trying, some quarterbacks when they're being rushed immediately and they see somebody they want to throw to, They'll try and swim the defender if he goes to the waist. Trevor Lawrence did what a good quarterback does, and he moved his shoulder away from him so he couldn't strip the ball, stepped up, made a throw really off his toes, and it was a perfect throw. And right there, I was saying that's growth. That's really that's growth because he didn't do that earlier in the season. He took that, he fumbled it. He would have fumbled. But you see him in this game, and I mean, I watched the whole game, and I was just like, yo, this cat is good. He's actually balling on these cats. It didn't matter who they had. It don't matter if what's his name was Humphreys was hurt. Humphreys was getting shredded up too. Baltimore fans, I know you're out there. I know y'all mad. I've seen how mad y'all was after the game.
Big mad.
But look, there's a rising star coming out of Jacksonville. And if you need anything else to prove that to you, he's the first player in Jaguars history to have a game with 300 pass yards, 3 touchdowns, 75% completion rate.
Damn.
In the win. And I think he's the only quarterback in the NFL right now who has 6 or more games with over 100 quarterback passer rating. I think. Don't quote me on that, but I believe that he is the only quarterback with that many games with over 100 QBR or QB pass rating. But Kendra, what did you see in this game? What excited you about Trevor Lawrence? I mean, I know he's got the long hair. He looks like sunshine from Remember the Titans, but
it's true.
He's got some skills.
So I will say that I was a little hard on Trevor. I think everyone's been a little hard on Trevor. I believe in not judging a quarterback completely until the end of year 3, but I do believe in accountability even for young quarterbacks, and especially a second-year quarterback despite the Urban Meyer situation last year. What impressed me from him yesterday was that on that final drive, it felt like for the first time when they were coming from behind, there was no sense of urgency. There was no panic. He was settled. He felt like he had been there before for the first time. And I think what really impressed me was that he obviously didn't have Travis Etienne basically from the jump of that game. But my favorite thing that Trevor did yesterday was obviously there have been a lot of people who have, been asking for Trevor to be held accountable for some of these mistakes. You look at the Eagles game with all of those fumbles, and had that fumble not gone the way that it did yesterday with his redemption tour, we probably would be having a little bit different of a conversation. But in his post-game press conference, what really impressed me from Trevor was the subtle jab of "I've always been this guy." That's what he said in his post-game presser. And that's so true. And I absolutely respect him saying that. Talk your shit. I'm here for it. In the media, I feel like there's times where you're expected to have a take. You're expected to lean so hard one way and not be in the middle. And that happens a lot of times. And I'm absolutely the type of reporter who will circle back and comment on those things because, yes, I have been an advocate for keeping Trevor locked in and on top of his shit, no matter what excuses he may have, just because I believe in that type of journalism. But this was Trevor Lawrence's coming out party, and I will remember this game for forever, literally forever.
Yeah, I completely agree. I don't know if it was his greatest statistical game ever, but it felt like this is a professional quarterback. This is what you do. A big moment like this, wasn't too much for him. Stepped up, made all the throws that needed to be made. I'm just sitting here waiting, for the Jags to jag it up like usual so I can call Uche and talk some shit. But every fucking throw is right on the money.
Yeah.
This guy's, he's moving his feet in the pocket well, keeping his eyes downfield, even when there's pressure around him. Like, man, this guy looks like he knows what he's doing, finally. I believe I had a miserable rookie year as well. Similar situation. Bobby Petrino was my coach my rookie year, so I understand his pain of basically throwing a year in the fucking trash. So for him to be making these strides in what amounts to your first year with professional coaching, there's really something to hang your hat on here, Jags fans, and it really does hurt me to say that.
Okay, so this is something that I was thinking when they started, because it was a 2-minute drill, right?
Yeah.
So when he got on the field, look, I've been in that situation on that field numerous times. numerous 100 times. No, well, not 100, but a lot, right? And even, I mean, with the exception of David Garrard, he was the only quarterback I played with that in the 2-minute drill, I didn't feel like we were it was an uphill battle.
Mhm.
I felt like Dave would make throws or he'd make plays with his feet. And, a lot of times he did that. There wasn't every time, but he did that a lot of times. And so, for the years following that, every time I'd go into a 2-minute drill in a game, for example, like we had a game against that wasn't like a traditional 2-minute, but as I think on it now, there's so many games where, in the Chad Henne era, in the Blaine Gabbert era, in the Luke McCown era, where we got on the field and we had to we're down 3 or 4 points and we have to, go 60, 70 yards, 80 yards sometimes to win the game. And the majority of those games, when I would get out on the field, I'm like, thinking to myself, I got to do my fucking job. It's going to be rough. It's 2 minutes. You got to be ready. But I never really believed that these motherfuckers were going to be game-winning drives because the quarterback hadn't shown nothing to make me believe it was a game-winning drive throughout the game. Like, you feel it with the quarterback sometimes. Like when we went into Denver and we had to, go down the field and score to win the game. This was back in like 2008, 2009. And Dave was out there. Like we was like, yo, we about to go do this. Everybody's like dapping up in the huddle, like, man, we ran 36 power 16 times in a row.
Damn.
And ended the game. And that felt good. You felt that every time you went on the field, you had that confidence. When they got on the field on Sunday against Baltimore, I literally was sitting watching the game, and I was thinking to myself, this drive right now, like, this is a moment. I don't know what's going to happen, but I can tell you one thing. Every time I've seen this on TV or on the field before, I knew what was going to happen. It wasn't going to happen. Like, I didn't feel that this time. I was like, now we get to see what Trevor Lawrence is really about. You got a top-tier defense, and you got to go down the field to score, and you got to get a 2-point conversion to take the lead. Well, score to tie, but you got to go down the field and score. And this dude made every single throw. He got decent enough protection from his O-line. They kept the pocket organized enough for him to be able to maneuver in it. So that's good. Now O-line in Jacksonville does have some issues. Cam Robinson, that was a mistake. That was a mistake to sign him that money.
Hey,
that cat doesn't even play hard.
You call that from the jump. Yeah.
It's the penalties.
Penalties. He doesn't play hard. He doesn't finish the plays. After you make contact with the motherfucker and you just push him away, you don't stop. That's the guy who forced the fumble on Trevor in that game. It was Cam Robinson's guy. When they ran the screen, right? They ran a screen that was going to break for a touchdown. Cam Robinson missed the block to spring it. He didn't even it was a DB, right? So, okay, we're taught when you got a deep defensive back or somebody who's quick, you take them from the inside out because you want them to go over the top of you. You don't want them to cut under you. Yep. And he just ran at the dude flat-footed, and the dude just went right under him and made the play. It was going to be a touchdown.
Shit.
It was going to be – I was looking at it like, oh, there's his lane, 22. Hasty, I think his name is.
Yeah.
It was going to be just a straight lane right to the end zone. I could see it. And he got tripped up from behind by the defensive back that Cam Robinson was supposed to block. That cat is not good. He's not good. And, I mean, I don't like to talk down on players because I know how it is on the field, but he's not good. He shouldn't be a starting left tackle in the NFL.
Y'all franchised him, right?
Man, they gave that cat an extension.
Oh. Gee.
Let me ask you this. I have a question for you. So obviously, there's been some conversation this season about maybe prioritizing the system that Doug Peterson wants to run on offense and getting Trevor established in that system over sometimes going for wins, right? Or like taking points when you can get them. And with the issues with Riley Patterson as of late, do you think that came into account when deciding to go for 2? Was this Doug being like, you know what, Riley Patterson, yes, it's an extra point. Hasn't been the most consistent. Trevor, put your balls on the table. Let's win this fucking game. Show me what you got, kid.
Oh, I mean, I definitely feel like that was a coaching moment where a coach, to an extent, you could say, hey, you're playing not to lose if you kick this field goal. Do you want to go to overtime with Baltimore, really? Like,
No.
That's where a guy like Lamar Jackson can end it in one play.
Exactly.
It's a huge game. That's how big that moment was for the franchise, and just taking that step of growth as a franchise into being like, I mean, look, we're 4-7, but it really feels like the Jags could have 2 or 3 more wins easily under their belt. A lot of the mistakes that they made that prevented that beforehand were the mistakes that they avoided in this game. I mean, they still made that fumble from Trevor. I don't think I wouldn't put it on him because he got blindsided, but it's still a fumble, and that could have easily ended the game.
Well, and my other question would be like, what if they hadn't made that 2-point conversion? What conversation would we be having right now?
That.
Yeah,
me
too.
Live
with it.
I think the Chargers game came down to a 2-point conversion as well, if I remember right.
Yeah.
I mean, for these teams, they're kind of playing with house money. Like, if you don't get it, is anybody really that upset? No offense, guys, but
I mean, look.
Yeah. At this point,
that's part of it, yes. But also, like you said, you putting your nuts on the table. It's all in.
I want to see what you can do.
We want to win.
Yeah.
We want to win now. We don't want to go to overtime. We want to win now. And it's such a big win if you get it, because you have now got over that threshold of finding a way to win. That's one of the people don't understand. Like, look, people watch football, armchair quarterbacks all day long. Do you know how fucking hard it is to win an NFL game?
Oh
my
God.
first win as a starter in the NFL, I couldn't move the next day. I was like in the locker room after we beat Indianapolis and Indy. I'm in the locker, just slumped in the locker, like, yo, is this what it's going to take every time? Because if this is what it's going to take, I got to get everything a little bit more sturdy. Because I didn't feel that bad coming off the field, but as soon as that adrenaline, all wears off and your muscles relax, my back was all tight, my neck was all sore, my back, everything was hurting, and it was right after the game. It's that hard to win in this league. So when you win, that's why it doesn't matter how the fuck you win. They say a win is a win, and everybody celebrates.
That's what makes Doug such a good coach, though, is that he pushes people. It doesn't matter if you're Carson Wentz or you're Trevor Lawrence. He's going to push you. And now that he has pushed you to the point, you're over that hump. You have that potential chemistry back with your wide receivers. And they have a very winnable schedule moving forward. I'm really curious to see where this confidence boost off of a bye week, a little bit of extra pep in your step after that rest, this could really float them through like a decent part of the season in a shitty division.
Yeah,
it is that,
and a win like that, I mean, that's the biggest win since.
Oh God, the Bills last year.
It's been a while, but now there's expectation. Once I see that you can perform that way, now I can hold you to that. It's like, okay, look, this is out there now. I know you're capable of this. I don't want to see you, reverting back to those old habits.
Can't have 5 fumbles next week.
Yeah, the fumbles and bad decisions.
Once you cross that threshold, you can't come back.
This has to be the floor, basically, now. And
Yeah.
you're going to have an occasional bad game. No one's perfect, but this has to be 12, 14, 15 games of the year. I need you to perform close to this.
Your worst games have to be behind you.
Yep.
Yes. The biggest thing in this, again, like I can't reiterate it enough, is when you get a win like this, something changes because now you understand what you have to do to win. Before you're like, damn, how come we can't win these games? How come we can't pull these games out? Oh, by a field goal. Oh, by a touchdown. Oh, we had the lead with 4 minutes left in the game and we gave it up. Those are things that Jags have been doing all season. But slowly you started to see it kind of get closer and closer and closer. They're getting closer to they're getting closer to being able to pull it out. Then they come back and they beat the Raiders, which it was dope, but everybody seems to come back and beat the Raiders. So it doesn't that's
their specialty.
Still a win, but it's still a win, and it gives you some kind of confidence. But this was probably the biggest test. This was the biggest test for the team this season, because look, a lot of things go a different way. Maybe that Philly game is a little bit different. Maybe it's maybe the Jags could possibly have won that. But they weren't ready for that win. They weren't ready.
No.
They weren't ready to beat that team. The culmination of all these the losses and the wins have brought them to the point where now they're tested by a legitimate contending team in the NFL, and they rise to the occasion. The coaches don't let their butts get tight. They don't start squeezing pennies. They actually take risks. They actually go for the throat when it's presented. And they won. So now there will be much less hesitation to go for the throat. There will be much less hesitation to take risks, because you've seen that all these guys under pressure. Look, Jags receiving core is overperforming right now, because if you ask me what's the number one thing they would have needed to address in the offseason after like week 4, I was going to say receivers. Mm-hmm. They need more. They still need two more like potential wide receiver ones. And now they got Calvin Ridley coming in next year, so that's going to be huge for them. That's going to be scary now, because Trevor Lawrence is throwing that thing like he's Manning.
Just keep that phone away from him. He'll be all right.
Yeah. Stay off the gambling sites.
No draft for you, buddy.
Yeah, that was going to be my next point, though, is like the fact that they did this without Travis Etienne is even more impressive to me, because I feel as though there are times where Trevor can rely on Etienne a little bit too much.
Lean on him,
With his injury, though, it begs the question, is he not a back who can carry the workload that he has been? But on top of that, you really, really struggled in JaMychal Hasty because of that, because he played his role perfectly yesterday, and I don't think that he deserves some credit here. He stepped up.
He converted. He actually converted some third downs and second downs. He converted as well on the ground. He ran with good vision. He ran with good pace. He was able to change direction and make defenders miss. The Jags got some running backs now. Now, as far as Etienne's concerned, he was making me a believer. But at the end of the day, I've always felt like you look at him like he is your prototypical slasher. You can put him anywhere on the field and be like, do this, do that, do this, do that. They should have been using him, in my opinion, like Debo. He's a guy that you bring in motion from the outside. You can hand him the ball. You can throw him the ball.
He's
got him wide out. You can put him match him up against a safety or a linebacker. He's going to win that a lot of times because he's got the speed. Yeah. He's got the hands.
But you have Jamal Agnew. He's kind of like the Swiss Army knife of this team. Like he does.
But he's not as talented as Etienne, though. Not even close.
No, but you kind of have to preserve Etienne's health at this point, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. No doubt. Especially with this 2 years in a row with a foot injury.
And that foot injury, I didn't see the game. I only got red zone. Is it the same running foot? Backs? Yeah, I don't know if it's the same foot, but for running backs, that Liz Frank, because that's what happened to Maurice Jones-Drew. That Liz Frank changes running backs.
Last year too.
Have you seen how he has a duck foot now? Have you guys seen this whole his whole thing? So the reason that people are this is like so crazy, and I'm really deep in Travis Etienne Twitter. But if you watch him run, he has a duck foot, which apparently can help him kind of get out of tackles sometimes, because it makes him look like he's going a direction that he's not actually going because of how his foot now plants when he runs.
Oh, his foot is pointed on an angle when he runs.
Yep.
So cats think he's going to cut to the left, but he's just running straight.
Yep.
I hope it's not a serious injury. He is not a every down. He is not an every down NFL running back. I
No.
didn't think he was. He's a great running back he is a good running back, but he's just not. He's not a guy you want to give the ball to 25 times a game.
I'm not trying to pound between the
game,
tackles
every week between the tackles because he's going to get hurt.
Yep.
I mean, you got to have, look, James Robinson is over in New York balling. He's over there balling.
Which the healthy scratch? Weird.
I mean, a lot. I mean, he's only been there a few weeks. Some of that is more to do with, hey, let's get you more acclimated with the playbook so that you can be in more packages because we only got you for like 2 packages because that's all we could get in with you. So, a healthy scratch for him it doesn't really mean that much right now, but it is something to, it's something that will happen in his first, because they'll probably give him another year contract. He's
going to be affordable. Why wouldn't they?
Yeah. They'll give him like a couple of million for a year. And and just and it's kind of like a show us they don't extend running backs like that to begin with, but show us what you got and we might give you an extension.
There's going to be a crazy free agent running back group this year as well, so it might do you some good to get a mid-tier guy
who ain't going to cost you a lot and he's productive.
Exactly.
But it's goes without saying that, I mean, hey, as a Jags fan, as a former Jag, I'm happy as hell that we got something to be happy about.
Oh my God. Yeah. It's overdue.
And it hasn't been honestly, it hasn't been a bad season to me. It's been a season that you kind of expect for a team that's in the process of growing. You're going to have a lot of shit look ugly at the beginning.
Yep.
It's going to start looking a little bit better towards the middle. Then you're going to have that one, the light bulb will come on, and then you'll see a game where it's a complete team effort. That's what Baltimore was. Now it pulls the team closer together because now everybody has confidence in each other that we can do it. We can do it every week if we want.
Yep.
So it's good to see that, and congrats to Trevor. I mean, that's big for him. I mean, I don't take him as a guy who gets bothered by what people in the media or talking heads say, but I'm sure that he's wanted to show that he's a baller at this level, and now he's done that, so he can continue to help the franchise grow.
Get that man some chains.
Woo.
I'm not sure that goes with the surfer vibe, man.
All right, so let's keep it moving here. Next up, another quarterback. Oh, before we do that, let me look at some of these super chats. Sorry about that. We got Justin Morgan, $5 super chat. Appreciate you, brother. He says, from one sad Ravens fan, I would like to say good games, Jags. Trevor Lawrence showed on that last drive he is that dude. He's him. Appreciate that, Justin.
Not ready to crown him just yet, but
if you want to crown him.
I'm not quite ready. I need him to not fumble the ball 5 times next week, and then I'll maybe start, buying in a little bit more. Week by week.
I like what I saw, no doubt.
I don't think that it's about necessarily crowning him. I think it's like you see that now the potential is actually starting to present itself on the field.
Yeah,
and
it's starting to bubble over.
Yeah,
I'm a woman. I see the potential, but I'm not easy to please.
We need a playoff berth, then you get crowned.
That would go a long way.
Right.
Yeah.
Bag of nuts. Of nuts. All right.
Nice.
Long-time Jags fan. I had 1996 vibes yesterday. I thought the game was over, but Trevor pulled out a freaking rabbit trick that was magical. Yeah, I mean, look, everybody played their role. I mean, that was pretty much perfect execution of the 2-minute drill. I mean, 4th and 8, he put that ball on the money down the sideline. When I see that ball going towards the sideline, I was like, oh, fuck. I was like, nah. Then I just seen Zay Jones just sitting in the middle of 2 defenders.
That almost interception, I was on the floor.
Oh, yeah. I mean, what usually happens when you don't get that almost interception? You get scored on.
Yeah.
Comes quickly after.
Almost immediately.
But a good day for Jags Nation, for Duval. And we'll, next week they got the Lions. I mean, and the Lions put up points now. So that's not no small, it's not the Lions that we played when I was my first year starting in 2008. Shit, because that was that 0-16
at that
Lions.
game.
Ooh, I was a left
Sad
guard.
cats.
Oh man, that was we beat the shit out them, and we were
they put up points, but they give them up too now.
All we can practice. Del Rio was like, man, you don't lose to these teams. You lose to these teams, motherfuckers better start looking for looking to put their houses up because ain't no coming back from this. We went up in there and beat the hell out their ass. And Cliff Averill, who we were talking about with, we're going to talk about Russell Wilson, but Cliff Averill was my teammate in college. He got drafted to Detroit. That's and after the game, I'm like, hey, Cliff, what up? What up? What up? I'm like, hey, man, sorry about the season. He started laughing. He's like, man, it's bad. It's bad.
Take me with you.
I'm like, sorry. See you later. Victory Monday.
Better luck next time, motherfuckers.
Yeah. All right, let's move on here. The other quarterback, the other guy. And I mean, who would have thought 6 months ago, that when you talk about washed quarterbacks who ain't about a nothing, we would be saying Russell Wilson is washed. And that's true. I mean, I don't know. Look, I don't know. I don't want to say he's washed because there is a lot of reasons.
Say it.
I can't say it because it wouldn't be totally true. Because coaching has a lot to do with quarterbacks, especially quarterbacks. And if you don't got a good, I guess, offensive coordinator or quarterbacks coach or head coach, those in that order, you can look like garbage. And I mean, part of it is Russell Wilson is kind of washed right now, but also his coach is not worth a damn. Not worth the damn. And he's probably going to get fired after this year. But the thing about Russell Wilson, should. The thing about Russell Wilson is that he falls into a category on a football team. And that in a football team, there's guys who are kind of like, you have the whole collective together, but then there's guys who fit into certain boxes in the locker room where, it's like, okay, that guy doesn't drink any alcohol. So, hey, never going to hang out with you. Can't trust him. Never going to hang out with him.
He's not to be trusted.
And no disrespect, but we had an offensive lineman, Mo Williams. I love Mo. I love him to this day. This is my rookie year. In my rookie year, I was a rebel. I didn't like doing none of the shit they told me to do. I would do it as bad as I could to piss them off. And they made me pay during that rookie dinner. But Mo Williams was one of our tackles. He was a swing guy. He was starting at guard, then swinging at tackle. He's a utility guy. And every single week he would be like, Uche, won't you come on in before the game and get you some of that good come on into our Bible study on Saturday. We're here at the O-line room. We do a little Bible study every week. I turned and looked at this motherfucker. I'm like, oh, excuse me? I'm heathen, sir. I don't give a fuck about that. I'm not coming every week with a smile on his face. Uche, man, why don't you come on into Bible study this week? I'd be like, look, Mo, when the day I come into that, which for you, for what you're doing, I respect it. But the day I come in, there's a problem. Crises. You see how I act out here. I'm not coming in.
So I'm in these streets, son.
I'm in these streets, son. We would joke
not
about
trying to hear something you talk about right now.
For real. I'm like, nigga, we got a game tomorrow. What you mean come in? Like, get the fuck out of here. No. But I love Mo. I forgot why I was. Oh, well, look. Well, this is what I mean when I say that. From just you put him in. I put Mo in that little box of he's good wholesome guy. Probably doesn't drink. Probably never even smelt weed before. Never would hang out with you. never would do anything around you that I even consider might be questionable because you would snitch. Russell Wilson is that guy who, you know who he reminds me of, honestly? Because I was only there for a little bit, but he reminds me totally, from what I've heard, he reminds me totally of Tony Romo.
My nightmare blunt rotation would be those two.
Like, look, and I mean, look,
Nightmare.
I'm not trying to like say nothing, but motherfuckers ain't like Tony Romo. When I was in Dallas, we would look. I mean, I was like, what? I was like, what? We were in a team meeting, and this is why I fucking hated being in Dallas. I was like, fuck these motherfuckers. Why'd I come here? Not the players, just the staff and just the whole aura of that organization is such bullshit. It's like, y'all haven't won a fucking Super Bowl since '96. Sit down and shut the fuck up.
VHS. Your Super Bowls are on VHS.
Oh man.
So we had a team meeting, and this was during the preseason. We had a team meeting, and I mean, Jason Garrett, for the phony head coach that he was, I recognized that on day one. I was like, yo, why is he smiling all the time? Why does he have a permanent smile on his face? That's not possible. But he let Tony Romo lead the late night, the late team meeting you have after practice, and where it's usually like a motivational speaker or some shit that comes up, like somebody hired to come in and talk.
Right.
He said, "Oh, we're gonna give it to Tony Romo. He's got a story he wants to share with us. This is a team bonding moment for us." And we're sitting there, and I'm like, Tony Romo's old bad body ass walks up to the front, and he just started talking about how he was a high school basketball player and all his boys. They had a clique. They were a clique together, and they called themselves this and that, and they won like the state or some bullshit. That, bruh, it's high school. Don't nobody care. But he's going on about this, and he's like, and just so you guys, can feel what I'm talking about, I went ahead and flew all my buddies up here to come up here and stand up here with me, and they come walking from the back of the fuck. We're like, oh, literally, Tyron Smith looks at me, and I'm like, is this y'all's quarterback? He's like, he just starts shaking his head. I'm like, bro, what is going on here?
Oh, this kid.
His boys walk up. He said, I did it because, just because I could, because I got the money too. So I flew him up here. And when he said that, yes, he did. I swear to God.
The fuck out of here.
Bro, when he said this shit, look, because I'm like Smallville. I came from Jacksonville, signed with the Cowboys. I'm like, this is what the big lights is like, huh? Big market, all this shit. And I get there and I'm like, what? Why is the quarterback leading the motivational talk? And then when he's like, yeah, so since I got the money and I could just do it, I went ahead and flew my boys up here, my high school buddies up here to be up here so we could talk about that. And I mean, I'm talking, you could feel it in the room. Everybody was like, what the fuck? Who okayed this shit? And the whole O-line, we're just looking at each other like with our eyes. You know how it is with the O-line. When some bullshit is happening, the O-line, everybody just turns to the center. It's like how the line is made on the field. Everybody looks into the center. And the center just sticks his head out and looks that side and then looks that side. Everybody's like,
this is what we're doing.
That's how we were. And I'm like, yo, I didn't even listen to what he was saying because I was like, this is literally like gratifying bull. Like, what? Why is he over here just jerking his dick off in front of us?
I was just gonna say it sounds like a high school circle jerk.
I was like, what is
the worst thing I've ever heard?
High school friends. I don't even remember my high school friends' names. What the fuck? Like, I don't talk to them people no more. And when he got done talking, nobody clapped. And Jason Garrett just walked up there and he's like, hey, I appreciate you guys coming in. Just shaking all their hands and shit. And I'm just like, yo, these motherfuckers, this what y'all do to like actually like this is y'all thing here in Dallas, huh? Like this.
So like his boys stayed and chopped it up with everybody.
They were there in the front of the team meeting. Like we're in
surely no one like went up and talked to them after the shit was over.
Fuck no.
It was like everybody bounced.
Everybody got up and walked the fuck. We was like, man, let's get the fuck out of here. This dude,
Oh,
we were in California for training camp, so we were still there when this shit happened. And I just like at that moment, I was like, my mind was kind of blown. I'm like, how is he that important to the franchise that they just let him do what he wants? Like they just let him bring his boys up here,
like bringing random people into the facility. Like, come on, man. This is.
I mean, I was just like, yo, I like that's a douchebag right there. I said that's a douchebag. That's what that is. But hey, he's y'all's quarterback.
But why would that hype y'all up? Like what?
Exactly.
Where did that is? I don't.
That's what everybody like because the O-line sits together, all the positions sit together. So I know with the O-line, that's what we all were like, what is the point of that? What was the point of that? Like, why?
Math ain't mathin'.
Yeah, like
it
doesn't make
him
sense.
Hyped up? Like, was he excited?
He was just boasting the whole time about his skills in basketball and how
Bitch, go play for the Mavericks then, if you're so good.
I mean, for real. I mean, that was my first impression of him. Like, because I didn't talk to him until that. This was like what, three weeks in. I didn't really talk to him. I was rotating in with the ones, so I was going twos, ones, but I didn't really never talk to him. So that was my first time actually getting to like get a look into his personality, and I was just thoroughly
like didn't miss much.
I was like, yeah, no, I'm cool on that. But I feel like Russell Wilson kind of fits into that kind, not necessarily the arrogance per se, but it is kind of arrogant. Like what were you saying, Kendra, about him? Tell us what you learned about him.
So we were talking before the show, and a couple weeks ago, maybe even like a month or two ago now, when all of this Russell Wilson shit started to fall apart, Richard Sherman and Marshawn Lynch came out and complained about what a bad teammate Russell Wilson is, how weird he is, like how he's just so self-centered, to the point where even if you were his teammate and wanted to get a hold of him for something, you had to reach out to his agent to get a hold of him. And it's like, first of all, that's insane. But second of all, I said to you guys before the show, like, if Marshawn Lynch and Richard Sherman can't have your fucking phone number, then who can?
And that's like not even a thing. Like,
no,
that's not even a thing. Like, and maybe it's because he's married to what's her name, Sierra.
Sierra.
That's like some old Hollywood shit. Like, call my assistant.
But I mean, they can't even play future.
She's not even
practice.
that big.
Oh, they said, oh yeah. Oh.
Wait, what?
They can't play future at practice, games, nothing. No future music, which is probably why they're losing because future slaps.
Oh, even in Denver, they can't do that?
No, in Denver, funny. They cannot. No.
That is funny.
Yo, I would have boycotted the team for that. I'd have been like, yo, I ain't playing. So we play some future. I need that.
Yeah.
You knew what you were getting into, dude. But come on, man.
For real.
Don't be mad at him.
So this is the video clip that everybody's seen. I mean, Russell Wilson talked about it in a press conference afterwards. We're not gonna watch that video. That he just spun it, but something
was said. If Russell Wilson says something as he's coming off the field here, or Purcell is just going over to him and saying, "Hey, man, I care about this."
I love how commentators try to like make it seem like it's nothing wrong. Like, no, that's normal, right? Like he'd say, "Hey, man, I care about this."
Civil conversation here. Nothing to see.
I mean, look, I know what he said. He said,
I'm Mr. Unlimited.
Need to do something. He said, "You motherfuckers need to fucking do something." You right?
I just picture him just saying, "I'm Mr. Unlimited" over and over and over again in his head and ending prayers with Broncos country, let's ride. Amen.
Damn.
Oh my God. Broncos country, let's ride. Oh my God. Look.
We've all been there though. Like when you're invested in something and someone's not pulling their weight.
Invested like, I mean, boy.
No, I'm talking about this lineman.
Yeah,
You're doing your shit.
Oh.
and someone talks to you the wrong way, like
you'll snap on them.
Or says something like snide comment to you, and you just want to like take your helmet off and bash their face in with it. Like, look, motherfucker.
I would have done it on the airplane.
Like, you're not the one. You're the one not holding up your end of the deal here. Like, don't get this football shit twisted. I will knock you the fuck out.
No, on that airplane, it would have been over. The high knees would have started, and I would have.
I mean, I gotta say, I don't think I've ever. I ain't never gotten into a shouting match with a teammate. I got into a fight with a teammate in practice, but
never.
You know, not a
game setting.
Never like that's kind of a rule. Don't do that shit on the field.
Yeah, don't on stage me.
Argument. Don't get in the argument. Don't get in a pushing match because it's all bad if you do that in front of them cameras. Even like there was a game where I don't remember which game it was. I just remember the moment we were on the sideline, the O-line, and we were getting. I mean, I don't think I was. Matter of fact, but
my guy. The other four motherfuckers, maybe.
Hey, I say that a lot, but I'm actually being dead ass. It wasn't my guy, but
I feel you.
We were getting fucking run. I mean, run, and it was I think it was a Monday night game, and we were on the sideline, and Khalif Barnes. He was pissed. Oh, it was against the Colts. Yep. Khalif was getting worked by Dwight Freeman. I mean, and he got worked like
he gets a lot of people.
We were backed up on like the 2-yard line. And I mean, he got like 2 offsides in a row trying to jump that set on him.
Of course.
So like he dug us in a hole on offense, but Freeney still got the sack when we ran the play. And so he got to the sideline. And he was pissed because he was supposed to have a tight end chipping on that play. The tight end left immediately, didn't chip. So Khalif's set was a little bit tighter a little bit more vertical because he's expecting chip help.
Yeah, he's waiting for the guy to funnel him to him.
Well, when that chip didn't come.
Yes. Dog.
Dwight hit him with because he panicked because he started going vertical set. Then he just kicked out hard to the left. Because Freeney was gone.
Yeah, of
Freeney
course.
He hit him with that ultimate spin move. And just sacked fucking I think it was Quinn Gray, the quarterback at that point, because Dave was hurt that game. But he got pissed. He was like wanting to fight the tight end pissed. And our O-line coach was like, look, not in front of these fucking cameras, please.
I would eat that shit up. I would eat that shit
everywhere.
Oh,
but what happened here with Denver is a product of expectations. Literally, not even like you talk about not meeting expectations. I mean, they didn't even get the ignition started to even try to get to the expectations. The Denver Broncos, arguably, maybe unarguably, are the worst fucking team in the NFL.
Biggest disappointment of the year, probably.
And the biggest disappointment by far. I thought these motherfuckers might be competing for the Super Bowl this year.
Yeah, and when you're that frustrated, it don't take much to set you off.
It don't take much. It's like.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say it's the fucking Panthers, dude.
That too.
Exactly.
That's the worst part. And they didn't put up a touchdown. They had 3 points until the fucking fourth quarter. And you're paying Russell Wilson how much money?
That doesn't help.
No.
When the guy that's making all the money is the one, underperforming the most.
Being a diva.
I mean,
if you're underperforming, fine.
This guy's probably out here making a couple $100,000, which I mean, there's nothing to sneeze at in the grand scheme of things.
Hey.
But I'm not trying to hear a motherfucking thing from you making $50 million a year, whatever it is.
He said something that was
you're supposed to be carrying us
that made this motherfucker snap. If he said something, he's like, hey, don't worry, we got it. That's what I imagine him saying.
Let's ride. Let's ride.
Hey guys, don't worry. We're gonna come back off this. Motherfucker be
like the last 10 games.
You ain't throwing a completion in a quarter. Shut up.
You said you had us last week, bitch.
I hope he told him to shove that Subway sandwich up his ass.
They canceled his sandwich, didn't they?
Thank
They
God.
said, yeah, you know what? You kind of suck. So we're going to go ahead and rescind this endorsement. We don't want to be associated with losers. We already had too much of that with the big guy who was the
As long as I can keep the check, do what you want. I don't give a fuck.
I mean, look, Sam Darnold outperformed Russell Wilson.
King.
I don't think we ever would have thought about saying something like that. Isn't even a sentence that I thought made sense 10 days ago.
I love it. I'm here for the chaos. I've never really liked Russell Wilson outside of his days at Wisconsin. So I'm just here for the downfall. I just think that he is the most cringe human alive, to the point where this is beautiful. Like, this is the art.
When I saw that Broncos country, that's right, I was like, no, he didn't.
Mm-hmm.
What? First off,
yes,
who made that? Who made that the motto? Did he come up with that?
I hope so. I hope so.
Yeah.
Because whoever came up with that motto needs to be fired. Broncos country, let's rock. Broncos nation, let's ride. Like,
I think it's been a thing for a long time, but
yeah, you just don't make it a sentence that you say every day. But the part where when I really was like, yo, this motherfucker doesn't have a clue at all. He does not understand, or he is oblivious, blissfully ignorant to the fact that you got paid $250 fucking million. You have done jack shit. And this was like in week 4 or 5. You walk up to that fucking podium with this cheery look on your face, like ain't nothing, like y'all didn't just score 10 points for the 4th week in a row and lose with only 10
Pad
points.
still on.
Pad still on. And he's like, oh, we're going to get this thing right. Broncos country.
That's rad.
I mean, I was like, what?
It's a TikTok.
I'm around it.
Like, I don't usually enjoy watching people get their comeuppance, but like I'll make an exception just this once. This is for some reason a little enjoyable. Maybe because he's like such a blowhard.
I was a little like divided because I really like him as a player, and I thought that I thought him going to Denver was like, yo.
Well, everyone thought they were just quarterback away.
Because they've been quarterback away for like
everywhere.
Yeah.
And
they got talent all over the field and a great defense. And I'm like, yo, these cats are going to run. They're going to run a lot of teams out. And this cat, I don't know. What the fuck happened? There's no way that everything was Pete Carroll. There's no way. He was on the field playing.
Look at Gino. It's not Pete Carroll. I think that Russell Wilson needs to start recreationally abusing edibles.
He needs to. Yeah, he got to break that. He got to break that
he
seal on something.
He might need
to do ayahuasca with Aaron Rodgers.
I'm about to say he needs that ayahuasca.
Yeah,
because you see what the ayahuasca
that ain't treating Aaron Rodgers too good either.
That shit flashed. I mean, hell, his career might be over. We might have just seen the last of Aaron Rodgers.
We did. I think we did.
I think we did too. Because that boy Jordan Love came in that mug.
Yeah, touchdown! He was whipping it for sure.
Touchdown!
It was like almost 18 years to the day of when he replaced Brett Favre. I think it was like November 29th.
Yeah.
Damn.
Full circle, motherfucker.
Poetic. You can't write that.
What's his new injury? It's like a
broken thumb.
With a pec?
Oh, no. Abdomen, yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That was a pec. I don't know why.
He got his stomach caved in by somebody, clearly.
That's a long recovery for something like that.
Abdominal tear? Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's like, I think it's like, I remember somebody on our team had something like that. And that, it was like a lot of the season.
Shit over here,
Yeah, a lot of shit.
Be one of a host of different ailments.
Mm-hmm.
And that on top of his, whatever his thumb thing is, fractured thumb.
He looked a little heavier this year, don't he?
Oh,
yeah, he took all Tom Brady's weight.
He looked a little bit heavier this year to me. I was like, well, maybe it's his jersey or something, but Looks a little bit
I
bigger.
think he's just getting older, man.
Yeah.
I don't think he's ever been like a fitness freak by any means.
I mean, but
he can't work it like he used to.
Yeah, he was a little bit more nimble. That cat could run a couple years back.
He was probably like a 4'6" guy at one point.
Yeah, he could make moves and get lost. But I mean, hey, when you fucking flunk out of the playoffs as many times as he has over the last, I don't even know how long, tends to take a toll.
Yeah,
I don't feel bad for him.
Whatever they.
I mean, he got a Super Bowl. What do you need to feel bad for? I mean, he got one, motherfucker. Shit, I got one playoff appearance.
The fact that he's struggling so hard is completely his fault. When you take that much money from your team and you can't afford any weapons and you decide to be a freaking diva, eat it.
He did that.
That's the name.
Now
of the
I'm
game,
not gonna look. Now
I
I'm all for players getting their money.
I mean, who's out here really taking these? Who's giving the team the discount besides Tom, really, as a quarterback, like consistently?
True, but Tom, look at all the Super Bowls and the endorsements to make up for it, baby.
No, that's what I'm saying. You're gonna make up for it on the back end.
Mm-hmm.
If you're willing to take a little less. I mean, it helps if your wife's a gajillionaire, but give the team the deal, and then
she's finna get his. I mean, I guess I already got theirs done.
Well, I mean, that's because he won't fucking come home.
That motherfucker don't make nowhere near what she was making. But fuck, I forgot what I was gonna say. What were we just talking about?
Tom
talking about
Brady,
Russell making too much money.
Wilson.
Oh, well, this is the thing. Well, we were talking about Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers held the Packers hostage.
Oh,
that's the difference. He held them hostage for his money. That's why he's getting this right now. That's why you getting
because
this.
He was an asshole about it.
It's one thing to try and get your money. Look at what Lamar Jackson's doing. He pressed to get his money, and when they wouldn't give him what he wanted, because you know what what he wants, fully guaranteed. Mm-hmm. Now I heard that owners are colluding together to stomp out this fully guaranteed shit. Because little tidbit that a lot of people don't know, in 2010, the new CBA that we did in 2010 before the CBA that they did in 2020, in that CBA, the one thing that a lot of players wanted to hold out for was to get guaranteed contracts. That's when the NFL started because I literally got my contract extension that year that the CBA would expire. So they changed my contract was done to where I got 3 years guaranteed out of the contract, 3 years out of 5 guaranteed, so that I couldn't be cut for nothing. And then that's when they started doing that, because there was other players too that got there was like 5 other players that got contracts before the lockout, and I was one. And that's what they did. They made it so that everybody got their first 3 years guaranteed. Now the CBA, we were telling DeMaurice, who is a fucking hack, we were telling DeMaurice, yo, we want guaranteed contracts, guaranteed. I mean, I was kind of sitting in the back like, I'm good. But that was the thing that we wanted. We wanted lifetime. Well, we've been trying to get lifetime insurance medical for forever. But that and guaranteed contracts, and the owners literally were like, we're never going to give y'all guaranteed contracts because then you'll all become lazy. And I was like, if you said that another way, that would sound very racist. But the thing is that why do we have to have total loyalty and allegiance to a team that doesn't have to have any in return? What sense does that make?
It's a good point.
Because we've seen too many people. I mean, me and JB have seen it, but of course, if you're watching and keeping up with transactions, you see it as well. But a lot of people don't know the stories behind why some people get cut. Some people get cut for the fucking most bullshit reasons imaginable. Like, it's literally cruel. Like, you cut this, like, remember I was talking about the running back we had who was from Oklahoma State, and he was running through our fucking first team defense like all season, and he was on the practice squad, and they finally started him last game of the season against Tennessee. He ran all over Tennessee, and then they cut him the next day. I'm like, you just gave him a start. And he had like 100 yards rushing. What do you mean he's cut? He's like 6'2", running back.
Fuck.
I was like, yo, these motherfuckers ain't right. They doing it just because, and aside from that, now you're seeing the first couple of, I guess Deshaun would be the first fully guaranteed. Like,
Kirk Cousins, but it was, obviously a much smaller deal.
It was, his was like 3 years though. 3 years, something.
Yeah, it was like 80 million or something.
Yeah, 68 or something million.
Poor guy.
And then you had like Julio had a 3-year, like 60 million with Atlanta that was guaranteed. But this motherfucker got a 5-year, 250 guaranteed. Russell Wilson got like 150 guaranteed out of his something.
Kyler Murray got like
Lamar,
160 or something.
Kyler Murray, that's the worst extension anybody's ever given a quarterback. Worst extension anybody's ever given a quarterback. That's like the most buyer's remorse you could possibly have as an owner. Like, why did I give this cat this much money? And why did I give that coach this much money?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because these guys aren't getting anything.
Did you see what he said after the last game?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
He threw that motherfucker. Exactly, he said, "Come here, Cliff."
Not exactly a ringing endorsement of your coach.
Schematically, we are fucked.
We were kind of fucked, which means we weren't going to win by default because what we were game planning to do was insufficient. That's a hell of a thing to say. That means you and the head coach ain't friends no more.
Right.
That's what that means.
So now I got to say some crazy shit in the team meeting. Is this play sufficient right here? Every play. Hey, is this play cool right here? How's this one look?
It's wild, dude, because
at the end of the day, you also went along with it. At that level, your quarterback has...
You let him dictate what you could put in the contract.
Your quarterback's going to have some input with these plays as well. So if you see something that's fucked up, I'm not saying Kyler's going to go draw up any plays because unless they're in Madden, he might know that. But
hey, he's a COD player like me.
Film.
Respect the game.
I do.
I'm a COD player too, but
I play as well.
We played COD all week after we watched our film. We after we studied our playbook, we would play COD online with each other.
It's a good way to unplug.
Okay, I see you with what you got, the Series S.
I have the Series S.
You got the Elite controller.
Oh yeah.
I'm a paddle player.
Okay.
Not
to flex on anybody. Oh yeah.
Anyways, long story. To get back to what we were kind of talking about, guaranteed contracts. They're saying that the owners are actually kind of colluding against that right now. They're trying to all agree not to give any more guaranteed contracts, which I think is kind of bullshit because, hey, But anyways, let's keep moving here.
That'd be a good way to get all the free agents to come to my team.
And
I don't give a fuck what y'all do.
If you offer it, now I'm gonna go ahead. You know what? I'm gonna skip this OBJ shit. I don't really care about that much. But let's talk about this before we get into our scores. Reebok is not the apparel. Reebok was what he would have worn. This is Nike. These are Adidas shoes. Now that may be fair, Adidas, because guys got contracts for different shoe apparel that they got to wear on the field. So Adidas is one of those companies. But the Nike jersey, and then look, all of that is, I can look past that. If it weren't for the fucking, what is this?
What was the movie?
What exactly is this?
Hollow Man, where Kevin Bacon was like invisible, but you could see this outline of him, of his body.
He's wearing, clothes over there.
Yeah, he would have a fucking hoodie on. You could just see like a body underneath it. This is that janky, but very befitting of the organization. So this is.
It is totally on code for the fucking Commanders, but I just look at this, and I'm pretty sure this is his. I think this is his family over here.
Yeah.
And they did not look very impressed by this at all. They're not even recording it.
Wow.
Look at these young kids. They're the only ones not recording.
His daughter made a comment to the press. I guess there was obviously his family was very upset about what happened, but his daughter did make a comment to the press about the cleats. They're, I guess, soccer cleats because he wore soccer cleats during his career. And she said that was her favorite part about all of it because she thought that was kind of the only thing that really paid tribute to who he was.
Remember, he also did he have a rainbow visor?
He did wear a rainbow visor, but he only wore it. Yeah, that was in college.
And then he had, no gloves.
He didn't wear no gloves. No gloves. I was like,
out there raw dog.
That's a bad
crazy.
Well, you know what's crazy is that, that was our rookie year when he died, huh?
I believe so.
Yeah. And that was a huge deal. And it's still a huge deal, obviously. But, I mean, my disappointment in this is really in the fact that how fucking bad are you as an organization at actually this is the second time they fucked up a Sean Taylor tribute, in my opinion, because this is a fuck up. They should have done. I mean, this is something that they must have decided to do this 3 days ago.
Damn.
3 hours.
It does look. I mean, it's very hastily thrown together.
Where is there a plaque? Is there even where is anything that resembles Sean Taylor?
How do I know it's Sean Taylor if I didn't know the number?
Yeah, if I didn't know who this was, because you knew him, you seen him as a player, I would be like, what is this? A little kid is going to look at that and be like, who is Sean Taylor? There's no picture of him. There's no memorializing of him anywhere in there. I mean, what is this? And it's sad because it's sad that nobody in that organization, and especially we all know Dan Snyder's a piece of shit, but nobody else in that organization said, hey, you know what? Why don't we fucking wait on this? Why don't we wait and do something fitting and maybe, throw a ceremony in the offseason or throw a ceremony before the first game of next year's season and give him a true tribute.
Was there significance to this week in particular why they did it? Something so important that they couldn't wait any longer?
I don't know about that. But it just, this has Dan Snyder written all over it. I just don't think that they care anymore. With everything going on, it's it's not that there should be an excuse for lack of manpower with everything, but it's just we have too much going on. We're trying to save face. Fuck it. We don't care. We did something.
But that's what they did last year when they put the 21 on the field. And then they allowed Patrick Mahomes' little brother or older brother, I don't know which one he is, to fucking dance on it. I mean, the fact that they put it on the side of the sideline, his family looked pissed. I mean, it's yo, why y'all keep? This is one that it should be easy to get this right. Just do what everybody else does. Give him a statue. Give him a bronze statue. Put it in front of the facility or in the front of the stadium, however you want to do it. I think he deserves that look, that dude was a generational talent. Generational. I mean, people think right now that what's his name from Baltimore, Ed Reed you think Ed Reed's generational at safety? Then you ain't seen Sean Taylor.
I'm about to say add 5 inches and 20 pounds.
25 pounds onto him. And 2 steps.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy how good this cat was, and he was gone in an instant. And and the dude had really, I mean, he's an icon in Miami, and he was a coveted player in the draft. And I mean, and he fucking led that defense. He led, and you know what I thought was a real asshole thing? This is kind of off topic. When he passed away and they played their first game after he passed away, and they only came on the field with 10 guys to honor him. I forget who
Oh, like they left
playing.
his position open or something.
Yes. The team they were playing ran a run right to that side and fucking got like 30 yards. I was like, wow. I was like, whoa. No. And he was
Communication, man.
running.
Like coaches talk before the game. Like, hey, look, we're gonna do this thing in the first play. Man.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, did these motherfuckers not talk before the game? Like, he ran like 30 yards, ran over a couple motherfuckers. Like, there was no safety.
Wow.
I was like, yo, whoever that is, you gonna get yours. Because that's kind of disrespectful.
Sean Taylor's going to haunt you tonight.
Yeah.
Right. They should have ran an extra guy out there like the Seahawks did last week.
Yeah, it's
mid play.
Oh my God. Yeah, what about that? The fucking Seahawk player, did they penalize him for that? I didn't see the whole thing.
I don't think so.
I don't think they noticed.
They missed it.
Oh, wow. Hey.
Don't be getting a FedEx letter.
Yeah. He gonna get an unsportsmanlike 10,000, 15,000, one of the two. But I really this made me sad to see this. This made me sad to see
for his family.
They were making a statue for him. Yeah, I definitely feel bad for his family. That's really
that's not even a mannequin or a statue. That's literally like a wire fucking mannequin.
Wire frame.
Like, could you use and I've seen a lot of this online. A lot of people were like, can you at least use a black mannequin?
Or a solid mannequin, like something. Like, where is his body?
Make a hologram. Shit. 2022.
I mean, look at this shit. I mean, look at this. What is this?
This is like nondescript football player.
It's literally like a pack of hangers from the dollar store.
He doesn't even have like big biceps here. I mean, just
at
least make my man Jack.
It's just that is to me is disrespectful because look, there's nothing here. Even maybe there's a plaque somewhere.
You got like a Hank Hill ass. Just
there's
straight up and
nothing
down.
that even shows that.
There's no way this man is explosive. No way could this guy clean over 100 pounds. Yeah, people just underwhelmed.
Scooter Magruder. But that's how I feel. It's like, and this is how I feel too. Like, our expectations are low, but holy fuck.
Damn.
Literally, this meme was made for them.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect meme usage.
Yep.
They really just threw a helmet uniform on a mannequin from Marshall's. Golly. All right, let's move into our scores. Let's get into these games.
It's not like they're bad this year. It's like they got a better record than
they're actually doing good, so it's kind of conflicting because it's like, yo, Dan Snyder, you need to sell the team.
You didn't need
now
to
they're doing good. He's gonna be like, you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and keep them.
While we're at it,
the price went up.
Change the name. Yeah.
And we're gonna change the name again.
We're going back.
Commanders is such a shit name.
We're going back. Yeah.
This is what I thought they wanted the whole time. Fuck you guys.
I can't even say it. It's just that whole disgusting.
I totally respect why it needed to be changed, because that's like if they had like the Jigaboos or some shit in the team for 60 years, I'd be like, motherfucker, what Jigaboos? Oh, get the fuck out! Change that shit. But look, there are some people who say, oh, it's honoring Native Americans. It may be honoring now because it's a big valuable football franchise, but that's not what they were thinking when they named it.
I was about to say, there was a time when that shit was not, civil or.
And that's where the root of the problem is. They named it not to honor y'all.
Right.
But see, you look, I hate that excuse because you look at a team, and obviously this is different because it's college, but like you look at Florida State, right? Florida State does not have those problems because they not only give scholarships to indigenous people, but they let them run their own ceremonies with their own rituals before every single home game. They are hands off with it.
Yeah.
And if you want to respect culture, let the culture run things the way that they want to, the way that their ancestors practice them and stuff. Like that FSU is a prime example of if you're going to name your team the Seminoles or whatever, honor that culture and honor that culture right.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and they chose an actual tribe and not just
and they actually
derogatory.
Collaborated with the tribe and
still
showed them the respect. You know
still
what I mean?
do.
That, hey, we want to use your tribe's name as our official team name, and you can't just say we're going to do it, and especially when that tribe is located in that area, they're in that region, like you're playing with fire. I mean, it's just a bad look. It's a bad look when you don't try to like make them a part of what it is that you're building and you're doing. Now when it was the Skins, I mean, look, I get all of the tradition behind it because it's been that, but it was just at a certain point, everybody knew that was going to have to change.
It can't always be what it's been. It has to be what it will be.
I mean, look, times change.
Mm-hmm.
We evolve as a society, and I mean, hell, I actually prefer the Washington football team over all these fucking names.
Me too.
I think that was the best name they had.
It's the best team name ever.
Because it really, like, they had a legit branding behind that looked good. I mean,
and they were playing
good.
Well.
Yeah, and they fucked that off. Now it's just the commies. You're the commies. You fucking commies.
Which is like, how do you?
Yeah.
I mean, it took 3 years to settle on that.
Yeah, and then and it's so on brand for Washington, for Dan Snyder's franchise, that everything about it leaked the day before they were supposed to present it because they didn't cover up the fucking signage that they put in FedEx Stadium. It was all sitting out in the open. People are like, "Hey, it's the Commanders now." It's like, yo, y'all are just too far gone.
See, they should have used that as a decoy.
Gotcha,
bitch.
And it's crazy because to me, like, even the font of it. Now the uniforms actually look nice. I don't like they look weird in all black, but
I like it.
The uniforms, yeah, all black always looks good, but they look weird because they never had all black. They never even had a black accent in their.
Yeah, it was always just red,
always that
gold and white.
That gold, what is it, a maroon or some shit?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure the official names, but
the logo is lazy.
But once you go black,
they literally got the logo off of fucking Microsoft Ink.
It's like a clip art.
Clip art.
Yes.
No, just give me a W. That's when Dan Snyder was pissed off. He was mad because he was getting shit to change
the
that
only
name.
W. The only W they're gonna get.
I paid millions to this fucking firm to come up with this. My fucking kid made it in 10 minutes.
All right, let's get into these scores. First game up, Bengals. Bengals pulled it out in Tennessee, which I don't remember if I actually picked them to win. No, we did pick the Bengals to win that one.
Yeah, we picked them.
Yeah, Bengals win that one. Let's see here. Ooh, Ryan Tannehill in a bum again. So don't have to worry about that. Tannehill went back to being a bum. I'm pulling up the stats here. Woo-woo. Joe Burrow didn't have a great. It wasn't anything. Yeah, he had a decent game. 22 for 37, 270, 1 touchdown, no interceptions, 91 passer rating. Tannehill, 22 for 34. Oh, same completions, almost same passes, 290 yards, 20 yards more, no touchdowns, no interceptions. He didn't do anything.
Yeah, he was just out there.
Tennessee is now 7-4. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, do you think like it's time for Malik Willis? Like,
oh, don't do that. It can get worse.
You still got a good thing going.
It can get worse.
I don't know. I mean, yeah. Well, that's the thing. The Bengals helped out the Jags, and the Jags helped out the Bengals yesterday in the AFC. But my thing is, yes, it's a winnable division. The Colts suck. The Jags, until otherwise, are not like a contender. So
the Jags are up and coming, but they're not there yet.
Yeah, but it's like, do you really have like any sort of playoff aspiration anyway?
Who, the Titans?
Yeah.
I mean, they're usually one and done.
Yeah, they're usually a one and done, but I
Maybe
mean,
you get to the AFC
they're
Championship
they're
every now
still
and
hanging
again.
on to that. They're still hanging on to that AFC title game. They're trying to get back to that, or that game against when they played against Kansas City. But I mean, I don't think. I mean, they're a quarterback away from being really their quarterback and a receiving corpse away. I mean, they've got. I don't know anybody
Their
on the
run
receiving
game.
corpse. Yeah, their run game is their bread and butter.
Traylon Burks, I think, and is Robert Woods back now?
Oh, they got Robert Woods back. They got Robert Woods. I didn't know that.
I believe I could be wrong, but I mean they got some guys there, and yes, you're not going to go most likely all the way with a Tannehill.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
But you dance with the one that brung you. You know.
Yeah.
It's very difficult to sell without injury because obviously he has played some this year when Tannehill was hurt. But that's a tough sell.
Well, they put him in that Monday night game against the Packers.
And he looked like shit.
That's right. You're right.
And he looked like straight shit.
Yeah, so that's going to be a tough sell for the locker room.
It's true.
Yeah, that's not that he's not ready to be on the field yet. He doesn't know the playbook. And he thinks it's college. You can just lob some shit up and not quite like that, but the Bengals get it done.
It's just crazy because he looked so good in the preseason. He lit it up in the preseason.
It's the preseason.
Lots of guys do.
It's true. It's true.
I mean,
there's like
4 levels of
there
intensity.
was a spark. There was a spark. I'm not out.
So there's something there, and I don't know what Tannehill's contract situation is, but I mean, it might be proving out
money from their ass too.
Yeah, but I'm sure he's paid.
Is
it might be proving out in the next. Is it
next year?
Yeah.
Next year.
They got a lot of that money on him though.
Okay.
Like
2 years to learn.
I mean,
everything you need to know about being a pro quarterback.
Look, the thing, and me and JB talk about this almost every week. It feels like stop playing rookie quarterbacks.
Yeah, I mean, these first round guys are getting at least a year,
good,
2 years to develop.
You need 2 years.
Well, yeah.
Because you learn the playbook in year 1, but you don't understand the playbook. You learn it, but you don't understand it. In year 2, you start to understand the playbook. And then in year 3, you're actually playing without thinking about the playbook no more.
Prime example, Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady.
Just hope you still have the same coordinator in year 3.
Yeah, just don't. I tell you what. Man, what did I have in Jacksonville? I had 4 head coaches.
Shit.
3 general managers. And 1, 2, 3 different systems. But luckily, I had the same old line coach through 2 of the 3 systems. So everything as far as calls and concepts was the continuity stayed the same.
Mm-hmm.
Only the receivers got fucked because they changed all their shit up. But we were good. So Bengals get it done in Tennessee. Of course, Dolphins blow out the Texans. We don't need to talk about that. But we back in Duval, y'all. Let's go. Duval. Jags get it done 28-27. We talked about obviously the game-winning drive from Trevor Lawrence, but also how many of you motherfuckers thought that fucking 67-yard field goal was going in?
It's Justin Tucker.
I was sitting there like this motherfucker.
I was like, maybe.
I was like, hey, he can hit this.
I gotta at least watch it. Anyone else, I'm not watching it.
And when
he damn near did.
When he kicked it and it started lifting even higher, I was like, oh, fuck. I was like, uh-oh. Oh, God. He missed it. He missed it by like 2 yards. It hit like the back of the leg.
It landed at the end line, basically.
Yeah, right at the end line. Basically, you kicked the fucking 60. He kicked like a 65-yarder, right?
I mean, yeah, it would have been good from 63, 64, 65, maybe. I don't know.
What's so wild about that?
Well, that too. Yeah.
Well, they said there wasn't no wind.
Well,
I
it
don't
could be
know.
humidity. I mean, it could be
It
a host of
rained
things.
right before.
Yeah, it did rain. Yeah, that could have been an issue there. I mean, I really did think that motherfucker was gonna hit it. I ain't gonna lie.
Me
Folks.
too.
And look, if he would have hit it, I wouldn't even have been mad. I would have been like, hey,
no.
I saw what I needed to see from the quarterback. I'm good.
And that's a record in the NFL. 67-yard field goal.
His own
Come
record.
on. Yeah, you
His
can't be
own.
mad at that.
Hey,
No,
when
not at
he
all.
kicked that shit, I was like, this
But I mean,
son
even-
of a bitch.
Even the
He's
66-yarder he
about
kicked
this kid.
kind of doinked in, if I remember right, hit the
Yeah, it
crossbar
did.
and bounced
Yeah.
over. And that was I think that was in a dome.
Dude, that dude is
Right.
a fucking that's like the first miss he's had all year, right? Maybe like 3
Something like
years,
it.
something like that.
I mean, he's incredible.
He's better than
He's-
Vinatieri. He's
he's
better than
Longhorn.
Vinatieri.
He's
He
the
ain't got
GOAT.
the Super Bowls to go with.
He's
Yeah.
the GOAT.
He can't be the GOAT because he don't got the rings.
Nah,
Vinatieri is responsible for a number of those rings too.
but he's got all the records though.
Yeah, records
I mean,
are going to be broken.
Doesn't he have the longest field goal, the longest like consecutive kicks, like
He's the
made
most
in a
accurate
row?
kicker.
Yeah, I don't goated.
I bet you he'd
goated.
give it all up for one
He's
ring.
the best, but he's not the most accomplished.
Yeah.
There you
Not
go.
the greatest.
I wouldn't call him the. Well, I would say he is as clutch as Vinatieri. Because Vinatieri, that dude.
I
was,
mean, Tom keeps on putting you in position to make these big kicks.
Yeah, he keeps getting like the. I mean, you know what, man? You know, and this is off topic. It pisses me off that I know so many motherfuckers who went to New England and got Super Bowls. Rob Ninkovich, teammate in college. Matt Light went to Purdue. Roosevelt Colvin went to Purdue. Who else? Dan Connolly. I took his job here in Jacksonville. He went and got signed by New England. He got 3 Super Bowl rings.
Damn.
I'm like, everybody who leaves Jacksonville, go get Super Bowl rings. What's up with that? But
Well, if you want to talk about New England, Steven Gostkowski, also an up there in the GOAT conversation for kickers, man.
oh yeah.
Gostkowski was
Oh,
the
yeah.
shit.
He was a beast too.
Mm-hmm.
But this cat, he's the first kicker that is he's starting to kind of stretch the limit of where kickers can go, right? But
It's like Steph Curry.
it's like
I
with
get across the logo and I'm just
Tiger
jacking
Woods.
it up.
Yeah, it's like with Tiger Woods. Tiger Woods was so good, and he was scoring so much higher or he had such better scores golfing than other golfers. But over the course of like a decade, the entire game of golf became that much better.
Now everyone else is working out. Everyone else is
There's a science
using
to it now.
the fucking metrics and
So I'm
swing analyzers and
predicting,
shit.
yeah,
So it's all his fault.
predicting that this is the start of the new age of kickers. Kickers are going to begin to start kicking 60-yarders.
I mean,
They're
cats are
gonna
Daniel
making
Carlson.
58, 59 yarders almost pretty regular.
Remember when
of course, they'll miss
55
an extra
yards was
point.
like it was like
It used to be like
55
45,
yards
50 was like, oh my
Yeah.
God, is he going to hit
This
this?
motherfucker.
Can he kick it that far? Now they're like,
Grammatica.
yes.
Martin Grammatica.
Daniel Carlson, I'm telling you, he could be the next Justin Tucker.
Yeah, I mean that's where it starts. Like you have one guy who's a freak, and then somebody dissects his technique and his mechanics, makes it into turns it into applies athletic technique to it, athletic training to it to be able to replicate that.
Right.
And now you're going to start seeing kickers come in just busting 60-yarders like it's nothing.
And now cats that might have played another position are going to start kicking.
Are going to start being kickers. Yeah.
So you're going to start seeing better and better athletes and better training. I mean, I don't want to sit up here and say someone's going to kick from 70, but I think you're going to start seeing more regularity or kicking
You're
from
going to start seeing
60
I think you're going to start
more regularly.
60 threshold is going to start becoming more regular, I think.
It's just
yeah.
like, 60 yards, no big deal.
Soccer players.
All right, let's keep going here. Monday night. I mean, they're playing right now. You got Colts and Steelers. Nobody cares.
13-3 Steelers. Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
For the players' moms, because no one else cares.
Cool. I don't care about the Colts, so fuck them.
Well,
Buffalo.
Hey, take it easy. It's my quarterback.
Oh yeah. I mean, I give him a pass. I don't look at him I don't look at Matt Ryan as a Colt. He ain't no Colt. He's a Falcon.
Me neither.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But if you stick around long enough,
he's
gonna
just
get
a mercenary. Yeah, he's a mercenary right now. He's playing the Merc game. Let's see here. Buffalo squeezes it out against Detroit. Detroit made a lot of mistakes in this game. What is up with their why are they so bad at clock management? Like, why?
Dude, I was screaming to take that time out, and they gave them that time back, thank God. But I was sitting there screaming at my TV.
It starts from the head down, man.
I was just like, yo, if you don't call a timeout. I mean, and look, coaches sometimes they make this shit rocket science, but they're the ones who teach us about situational football. So it's like, yo, you're supposed to take the timeouts. Start taking the timeouts.
Hey, I'm here to claw kneecaps, not fucking count seconds and do analytics.
What do I look like? A mathematician?
I'm
Leave
almost
that
like
to the bean counters.
Did they peak too soon?
Detroit?
No, the Bills. The Bills have looked like shit the last couple of weeks. That too, but come on, you guys have depth for days on that roster.
On the defensive front, for sure.
Well, their defense was fucking decimated.
It's the
they
Lions.
Lost a lot of guys, even in their depth. The Lions got an offense the Lions' offense is averaging.
They put up points,
but they're
like 30 points a game.
They'll give you some points too.
Stinks, and when you have Stephon Diggs and Josh Allen, boy.
Yeah, this should have been 40 burgers.
It should have been a blowout.
Money in the bank.
Look, this is the thing though, and this is what happens in the NFL. When you have a quarterback who's a phenom like Allen is, eventually there's going to be a curbing of there's going to be a curbing of his skill set, a different kind of circumstance. In this circumstance, it's an injury. This is a guy who runs a lot, who gets hit a lot, and what wear and tear that has as a quarterback, I don't know as far as throwing goes, but he has a fucking He has the Tommy John? He got Tommy John elbow.
Oh, the UCL injury.
Yeah,
I mean he has like a 2019 James Harden usage rate right now. I can hand it off occasionally. I mean, I know he's not the one making those calls, but
they also don't have a running back.
Right, exactly.
They do have a running back. They don't use him. Singletary
guys, and they just haven't figured out how to make that work. Which obviously is advantageous if you can use your quarterback as a runner because you pick up an extra blocker. But there's, plenty of other teams find ways to run the ball without using the quarterback.
Yeah, motions. Yeah,
it ain't that hard. Let these guys take off some of the load.
Somebody said we got an echo. I don't know. Thank you.
Yeah.
Look, I didn't think that they were going to just walk through the NFL this season. I never thought that because at a certain point there's enough film that teams will break down and they'll come up with a flavor of the week for you. And every week, especially when you're a team in their situation, just like kind of with how the Eagles had as well, you're getting everybody's best game. Everyone's best possible game, usually. And even here, the Detroit Lions at home for Thanksgiving, you're getting their best game. Mm-hmm. So if you think that it's just going to be you because you have the talent, you're going to walk over them, still the NFL, baby. Them motherfuckers getting paid too. Shoot.
It's true, but they haven't just looked bad this week. They've been inconsistent the last couple of weeks. They've dropped some bad games, and that can happen when there's expectations with the roster that you have, regardless of injury, to win here and win now, especially in that fucking division.
I'm with you.
Yeah, they are trailing in that division too. They are Miami. I don't think I think Miami beats them if they play them again.
No.
What? You don't think Miami can beat Buffalo?
I'm saying I think Miami will beat Buffalo. And
yeah.
The Jets suck, but they're feisty, Robert Saleh. I respect the shit out of him. I don't count him out of any game.
Yeah, I like what they got going on down there for sure.
And
Mike
Mike
White is that dude.
Because if you're gonna come in like, yeah,
that wink
that's
was
all
kind
of
of
a sudden-
sexy.
if you're gonna throw a
Did
party
I
on
see-
somebody like that,
Did you guys see the wink? It was like a little, from Mike White. I was like, okay. Am I
Hey, that dude. I mean, all of a sudden, the Jets' offense looks threatening now. Like, looks threatening.
crazy what happens
And,
with a professional quarterback.
How many of us didn't see that coming? I remember the first game Zach Wilson had, and he threw 4 interceptions. I was like, you throw 4 interceptions like that, you're not gonna last. If you keep playing like that, you're not gonna last.
Right. You're just trying to throw the ball away, and it doesn't even go out of bounds. Like, what the fuck is this?
But then he also went 3 weeks without throwing a pick randomly. And I was like, okay, like, did he turn a corner? Like, maybe. And then, boom, shitter.
Yeah. As soon as you said, hey, look. Oh, never mind.
It's always lurking with that guy, it seems like.
Because, usually that's because the coordinators, the game plan is trying to protect him, not let him throw balls downfield, not let him have to, read defenses out a whole lot. Like, give him 1 or 2 options and say, hey, if those ain't there, run.
And
Because
what
we don't
did
want
we
you
learn
reading
here?
That don't work.
Yeah.
That didn't even
And
work.
bad juju if you fuck your friend's moms.
Oh, yeah, the MILF hunter.
Motherfucker.
Mm-hmm.
The motherfucker. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. That'll get you. That'll get you every time.
Bad juju.
Well, hey, he's got plenty of free time to go out and chase some skirts now.
I know it. I
imagine he's shut down for the year now with Mike White.
He didn't even dress, bro. You know what that means? When you don't dress,
yeah, to not even
that means they don't like you, motherfucker. That means they don't like you. Like,
I like the accountability.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
I like that.
Like,
sometimes you need that shit. I got sat down my rookie year. This is his second year, but whatever.
Well, this is the thing, right? Like, we've been sat down before. You get sat down, yes, but you dress.
Yeah.
You were back starting the next week.
Yeah. It was like take off.
They didn't. Yeah, they were just like, sit your ass down for the rest of this game because you're sucking right now, and we can't win with you right now.
Yeah, it wasn't
but then
like,
you come
hey,
back, you watch the film, you practice, and you back at the starting spot.
Yeah, it's not like, hey, we're gonna go a different direction the rest of the year.
It's like, hey, come over here and sit down. Actually, you know what? Take those pads off. I got a shirt for you to put on. Like, that means you're done.
Yeah, he was out there in the big parka. Like, this guy is smelling the field.
Let's hope that comes full circle for Devin Lloyd.
Mm-hmm. Devin Lloyd, that's the linebacker, right?
Yeah, for the Jags.
He didn't play yesterday. Huh? What happened there?
I think he took yeah, you got an echo. You do.
I do.
Yeah. I was gonna say he took maybe.
Hey, you got speakers on, JB?
Just the computer speakers?
Yeah. That's what it is, right? Sounds coming out?
Yeah. I'm hearing you. I don't hear an echo.
Probably because it's your echo.
We're hearing yours.
I'm sorry. Hold on.
I was gonna say I think that he split the tackles 35-65 with Chad Muma yesterday. Or no, Chad Muma played every snap yesterday. Devin Lloyd, I think, played 35% of the snaps, something like that. But even the week prior. No, even the week prior when he got the same thing before the bye week, I think it was Chad Muma was taking 70% of the snaps. So when you sacrifice that much draft capital for a guy, sometimes you need a reality check because they hit that that slump in this time of the season where they're getting used to maybe getting ready for a bowl game or something like that in a rookie season, and hopefully that reality check can get them right back on pace.
That's that rookie wall. Hey, that rookie wall is real deal. Woo! Shit.
Because you're like, damn, this college season would have been over about 5 weeks ago.
Hey, bro, I will never forget my rookie year. By week 8, by week 10, week 11, like you said, the college football year's over with, bro. It literally, I don't know why, I can't explain it, but I was literally starting to go a little bit crazy. I was like, yo, what? We got 8 more games. We got 6 more games. Hold on.
Shit's never
We
ending.
got to keep meeting like this in the morning. Shit don't get no easier. We still in pads. What's going on?
Oh man!
Like I hit a wall. Like I stopped listening to meetings. I was like, because I was a rookie. I'm just sitting there like. One time I literally sat there, fell asleep.
Oh, come on!
And I fell asleep, and I woke up because O-line coach was like, "Who the fuck's snoring?" I was like,
oh man! Yeah,
he's like, Uche, you do realize this is the National Football League, and you were part of a professional football team, right? I was like, huh?
I'm sorry, I can't go upstairs and just do 5 lines and come back down and be good.
You know what I mean? Like y'all motherfuckers be. Hey, look, let me tell you something, bro.
It's like, they don't drug test y'all.
I'm not making no accusations here, but I will never forget one day when we came out on the practice field. I don't even know if I should say this shit, but I will.
Spill it.
Hey, man. Hey, man, we came out on the practice field one day. It was like during the dog days. It was like around that 8-week point in the season where motherfuckers you starting to get, you were tired, but you just focusing on the job, and that's what keeps you kind of going through practices.
Yeah. You're just a machine.
And one day, and the coaches come out of a different door than we come out of to go to the practice field. So, but you kind of link up because it's a pathway to the field, to the practice field. So everybody kind of links up into one group walking out. This motherfucker Jack Del Rio come out that motherfucking locker room. That motherfucker nose was so red. And he did the old bloodshot eyes a little bit, looked over. Man, ready? You have a good day today? I mean, I personally, I didn't know if he was on anything because I didn't know. I never done no coke. I didn't know. But then our starting linebacker, Mike Peterson, turns around. He said, oh shit. He said, Jack, you good? You all right, Jack? But yeah, man. Another day at work. He turned around, look at us while we were walking up to the practice. He said, oh shit, Jack. It looked like Jack got that booger sugar going on right now.
Damn.
And we all just bust out laughing, but I'm like, what the fuck is booger sugar?
You're joking.
And I didn't know. At that time, I didn't know. I wasn't even smoking weed then because I failed the piss test for weed my rookie year. So I didn't know shit. I was an alcoholic. That's all that did. That made me a drinker like a mug at that time.
Yeah.
But, of course, after, I started to, I realized at that point, I was like, oh, well, yeah, motherfuckers do be like all up in their shit whenever, like, it's like, all right, buddy. I don't know if it was, but I thought that was just something that came to my mind for some reason.
Whatever it takes. Them and like truck
drivers. It's a long season. I ain't even mad at him. Hey, at least just don't be like the fucking dude from whose team was he on? Miami,
the O-line coach.
The O-line coach. This motherfucker is recording himself hitting lines after a meeting to his girlfriend, and he's married. It's like,
I was a coffee guy. I developed a bad. Well, shit, still got it really. But back when I was coffee up to like 10 cups a day, easily, just to get through all the meetings and shit.
The meetings, it don't matter. But look, I came to the conclusion by my third year, I came to the conclusion there's no way you can't fall asleep in meetings. There ain't no way. There's nobody who can just go through the meeting without some kind of stimulant. You can't make it. So I got into dip. I started dipping. The whole O-line room was dipping.
Yeah, I
stay awake
for about 6 weeks, and that was it for me. I was like, "This
shit, boy." We used to come in that mug. Used to be a competition. You see a cat's lip just hanging all the way out. You be like, "Motherfucker, you can't even close your mouth all the way." Like, get this meeting. Get this meeting.
Of the Sandlot, when all the kids tried to dip and get on the fucking roller coaster and threw up all over themselves.
Threw up everywhere. But I'll tell you what, it's like that's like one of those things that's just in the locker room, just in the building. Because I never dipped as soon as I left. As soon as I left the building, I didn't have no dip at home, nothing. But when I came in that motherfucker in the morning, cats literally quarterbacks would stick their head in the O-line room. Hey, anybody got some dip? And it's like, oh shit, I ain't gonna make this meeting if I don't got that dip.
Like cigarettes are currency in prison, or at least in the movies.
Yeah.
Never in the prison.
Yeah.
That's how dip is in a
professional
locker room.
I packed a Zen pouch one time, and that was enough.
You probably got the spins immediately.
Oh my God. I was hammered, and it was 4th of July. And my guy friend was like, you won't. And I'm just the type of person, if you tell me I'm not going to do something, like I'm going to do it. And I definitely had to sit down for about 10 minutes because I was like, I didn't know you weren't supposed to swallow it, to be honest.
Oh, shit. No.
My hair color is natural, okay?
That'll make a Twitter out of me.
That would
take a swig of the dip cup.
That would break me.
Well, it was a Zin pouch, so it was like clear. So like I know that you spit tobacco out, but like the clear pouches, I like didn't, investigate.
Ooh. Right.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds pretty miserable.
Yeah, that's bad.
It's not my best decision, but I have a story now.
That was bad, but yeah, it is a story. That's definitely true. But I mean, it's a funny one. I mean, it wouldn't be I first time I ever did a dip. Yeah, I mean, I had it in for like 2 minutes, and I was like, yo, my fucking lip is on fire.
Right.
And I was dizzy, and I was like burping, and I was like, fuck, like I don't know what, but after about 2 meetings, that shit was like second nature. I was like, yep, gonna need this every day.
It put some hair on my chest.
It will. It definitely will.
Does that.
It sure does that. All right. Minnesota. Kirk Cousins. Primetime. First win ever for Kirk Cousins in primetime. They beat the New England Patriots. I still feel like the Vikings are my dark horse to get to the Super Bowl out of the NFC. I really do believe that. I think they can. I'm not saying they will. I think they can. I think if the most favorable matchup would be, in my opinion, Philly, Minnesota in the NFC title game, or Philly, San Francisco in the NFC title game.
You think the Vikings can beat either of those teams?
Yeah,
I think that. Ooh.
Don't put too much weight in any team's record going into the playoffs. Once the playoff starts, it's all reset.
Yeah.
And literally it's not even the same, like, you know how, like, okay, the Dolphins got the Texans coming in town. Well, they about to beat the shit out of them. But if that was a playoff game, they're not about to beat the shit out of them.
It's a completely different intensity when you're like preseason.
They're not about to beat the shit out of them.
Don't get hurt. The regular season,
so for me,
it's kind of hard. But by that time, like all systems, even though you feel like shit, like your play is,
the allure of the playoffs changes your entire energy, because that shit is now you're playing for, it's all in. Every play is all in. I mean,
here's my thing. First of all, this is Kirk Cousins' first primetime win, and you're going to put him in the Super Bowls and put him in the playoffs and expect him to win?
Not because of that.
Okay, I'm not done. Second of all, were you talking about the Eagles and the 49ers? Kyle Shanahan is running a fucking Madden video game style offense, and you just added Christian McCaffrey into that shit. They would dismantle the Vikings.
They got two farming knives.
And the Eagles, just the city of Philly, I think that they could ride that momentum to the Super Bowl alone, let alone the talent that they have to work with.
I mean, I hear you. I agree. I agree with with most of what you're saying, but this is what tends to happen. What tends to happen in the NFL is that team that's 10-1, they're set up to lose.
Yeah, the bye is not your friend.
You don't want to have a record like that going into, you don't want to have to get The first round bye is not a good situation. The momentum you had coming out of the season dies with that bye. So you start cold in your first playoff game against a team that is hot, that is coming off of a hard-fought win, and now they feel like they can win, but like they feel like they're within reach.
Yeah,
And that's what happened to Baltimore.
The 9-7 Giants.
That's what happened to Baltimore. They got that first round bye. What happened? Tennessee comes in after a hard-fought win and rolls them, and nobody saw that coming.
But see, I look at the Vikings too, and I'm like, okay, I don't believe in them, and I don't believe in Kirk Cousins. But the thing is that you have to look at their strength of schedule also, because they play in a shit division, a fucking garbage division, and that's half their games right there.
Yeah. Amen. You guys are forgetting one thing.
Valid point, but they had a one-on-one matchup against another. It's a valid point, but they had a one-on-one matchup against another legitimate Super Bowl contender, and they beat them. And it's the best game of the year. So with that being, and they did it playing their style of ball. They didn't do anything out of the ordinary to win that game. They ran the ball like a motherfucker, and they made plays with their big-time receiver.
And they're cursed, to be honest.
Now that's their X factor, is that they have some kind of dark cloud over their franchise when it comes to the postseason that just does not allow them to win.
Bad juju.
My thing is that they are, and the Eagles are as well, very well built to play in the playoffs because they have a running game that can dictate the tempo of the game from beginning to end. A lot of teams, there's only one team that can get by without that, in my opinion. That's Kansas City. They're the only ones who can get by without using a running game. And it's they're just so fucking talented at the quarterback and tight end spot that there's nothing you can do except try to contain it, but you can't stop it. If you look at the other teams, like the Cowboys, who else out of the NFC? Ooh, the NFC. Seahawks are running the ball. They run the ball. But I mean, look, the NFC East. I mean, shit, that damn near the whole division could be in the playoffs. They would be in the playoffs if the season was over today. But of these four teams, only one of these teams is really a contender, and that's Philly. The Cowboys are not a contender. The Cowboys are competitive. They're competitive. They're at a competitive level for the postseason, but they're not a contender.
The
Giants, not a contender. Washington, not a contender. The Niners absolutely are a contender because this is the same shit they do every year. You be like, oh, Niners fell off. This over. Jimmy G is done. Trade him. And look what happened. I mean, when Jimmy G came back on the scene, I was like, this is why y'all are gonna have to respect this man. Because every time his number is called, even though we know he can be streaky.
Like we know they don't want him.
This motherfucker does enough.
He said, I'm back like cook crack. Like
God has favorites.
He does enough. And y'all keep having to rely on him, begrudgingly having to rely on him. And that's why he's never going to leave San Francisco. They're not going to trade him. They're not going to trade him because he's a backup, but he's not a backup. He's a willing backup.
Lance?
Trey Lance is their future. Until Jimmy G really, I'd give that motherfucker a little 3-year extension. I'll be real. Because he's kept them afloat through this since he's been back. And I mean, hell, they literally told him to his face, we don't give a fuck about you. And we trying to get rid of you. We just can't find nobody that wants you.
Right.
And then Trey Lance goes down.
That was the best thing to happen to their season. It's so unfortunate, but it's true.
And it's the best thing. Yeah.
Right,
and you see Jimmy G in the back corner of the locker room with a cigarette in his hand just you need help? I mean, and then he's balled out. So I mean, look, San Fran is going to be playing. They're going to be a player in that postseason. But you know, it's still early. December's almost upon us.
Yeah, he's got him by the short and curlies for sure.
He got them by the balls. They're gonna have to pay him. they're gonna have to pay him. I mean, they're not gonna give him $100 million, but he's gonna get close for just like a year, 2 years, because he earned it. What you gonna say? His numbers show it. He's balling.
I mean, if they make another run,
and if they make another fucking run, I mean, put a statue of this motherfucker in the front too, him right next to Joe.
Just to look at, honestly, I would kiss that thing every time I walked in the stadium.
Ooh. I mean, really, Jimmy G is and somebody here says Jimmy G is an upgraded version of Kirk Cousins. I mean, honestly, yeah. But Kirk Cousins better.
Ooh.
Kirk Cousins got a better arm. He got a better arm.
Yeah, but he doesn't have the clutch gene, dude.
He just showed the clutch gene against fucking Buffalo.
For the first time in prime time and like a 10-year career?
I mean, that's not all on him.
If he were him, he would still be in Washington.
I'd want to be in Minnesota. Washington's
I would want to be in yeah, but like if you value your quarterback enough, you keep him there.
Yeah, true enough.
We've seen people move mountains to keep average quarterbacks.
I mean, everybody kind of we'll talk about it. We're running hella over as it is. We'll talk about that. We'll get to that on the playoff edition. Let's see here. Jets new offense. Mike White, the great white hope. They blow out the Bears. The Bears played without Justin Fields, so kind of was expected. But Mike White, 22 for 28, 315, 3 touchdowns. Yes, you're the starting quarterback from now on. Sorry, Zach Wilson. Next time, when the motherfucker asks you if you could have played better, you say yeah.
Always say yeah.
Even if you had a perfect game.
You say yeah. You are the victim of the manufacturer of your own destruction. And I mean, hey, a fool in his gold will soon depart. All right. Next up here. Oh God. The Panthers beat the fucking the Broncos. Have they scored more than 10 points at all this season? What is their highest
in the
point?
first half?
19 once, I feel like. It was some weird number. But it hasn't been much more.
What a
I don't think they broke 21.
How did y'all got sunned by fucking by the Panthers? They sunned y'all. They like literally picked y'all up by the back of y'all neck and walked y'all back to the house before the lights came on. I mean,
with Sam Darnold to boot.
With right. Sam Darnold.
Guess there's no ghosts in Denver.
Cleveland. I did not expect this. Cleveland beat fucking Tampa. Apparently, this was Tom Brady at his worst in this game. His stats were, see here.
That's
well, I mean, he threw 2 touchdowns. What was the problem?
I was going to say, he's played some pretty bad ball this year. But
hey, man, are they giving Kareem Hunt any carries over there in Cleveland, man? He's on my fantasy squad. What's up? My Nick Chubb got the 30 carries, 116.
I love Jacoby Brissett. I wish so much for him that he is not getting in Cleveland, and now his watch has ended. We're moving on.
Yeah, and now my watch ends. Yeah, it's definitely a done deal for him. Which, hey, you got paid good money to come in and be a stopgap. Hey, be a stopgap, my guy, and go count your bread, count your chicken.
I fought, I lost, now I rest.
Now I rest.
You gotta pay, buddy.
Hey, I mean, look, what's their record? They are 4-7. I mean, hey, it's unlikely, but you know, if they went out,
the rest of their schedule is actually really easy. Like they have, I think 2 tough games to finish it out, and then I think that they are smooth sailing, if I remember correctly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it's the Browns, so let's not hold our breath there. I mean, it'll be nice to see what Deshaun Watson has, and I mean, even though, I mean, look, I'm not gonna get into it. I mean, I don't know what I'm like. Everybody, I feel like there's the fan of football is like, let that man play, leave him be.
I mean, how many days since the last game?
It's been over 2 years.
2 years. He ain't them threads are fucking premium still. Premium threads on the tires.
You want the Browns schedule?
Yeah. Lay it on us.
Texans win. Bengals up in the air. I think that they could win that game. Ravens probably not. Saints winnable. Commanders winnable. Steelers winnable.
Damn.
Oh yeah, that is actually a pretty
good
with Deshaun Watson.
Mm-hmm.
With Deshaun Watson, they might be able to get Baltimore.
And their run game, come on.
Yeah. Oh shit.
I'm telling y'all.
Yeah, no, you're right.
That's
100.
Right.
That is 100 right there. Them cats could be a problem.
In that division,
if Deshaun Watson comes out and knocks the rust off quickly and gets into a as passable form as he can for what he has done in the past.
Yeah,
I hope it doesn't happen, but it probably will.
I mean, yeah, it could. It could. I mean, look, I don't know. I mean, it could. It will happen eventually. But the thing is that when you're away from the game like that, I'm not so sure that you even remember how the speed works of the game.
I think he's
that's
such a
the first thing he's gonna
psychopath
have to get used to.
that it doesn't even matter. I think that he's just going to come out and ball out. I mean, he's such a freak athlete.
Yeah, he is stupendously athletic and he's accurate.
Yeah.
He's accurate.
Yeah.
And that's what's so crazy about how Houston, how did they fuck up with they had something good there? Well,
I'm glad he's out of the AFC South.
Yeah,
Bye.
for real. For real.
Good for you guys.
Shoot.
Bye, Felicia.
All right, let's keep it moving here. Oh, the Raiders. Finally. The Raiders, that's another team that kind of just figured out how to finally win in a tight game. Thanks to Josh Jacobs?
Yeah, Josh Jacobs.
Josh Jacobs had 300 yards of total offense. That boy balled out, y'all. I mean, and he did the walk-off home run, 80-yard touchdown run to seal it in overtime.
Oof.
Man, if we weren't going to get copyrighted, I'll play the play. But NFL, they don't let them motherfuckers do shit. They will snatch this shit. They'll snatch this stream right off. It'll just go off. But the Raiders actually upset the Seahawks. Seahawks still played well. I mean, it was an overtime game.
Games are always like this.
34 points.
It's an old rivalry.
Yeah, they're not divisional anymore.
They're not. Yeah.
I mean, Geno Smith still fucking balled. God damn, this boy good. When did this happen? What was the catalyst?
Pete Carroll.
He's watched a lot of great football.
That is an argument that is definitely legitimate at this point.
And be like, you know what? I want that in this situation.
I mean, he got the best out of that cat. That does kind of make me believe maybe this motherfucker Russell Wilson was garbage to begin with. He just made him look good. Damn.
I think that this is the Pete Carroll legacy tour. This is his end of his career without Russell Wilson. He was not going to be embarrassed. He was not going to put his legacy on the line, and he was not going to go out having a bad season with Geno Smith after that trade because so many people clowned them. And I was one of the few people who was like, the Seahawks won this trade. Good for Pete Carroll. I think that this is him solidifying that he did what he could with what he had, and this was not his fault.
I mean, yeah, it makes sense now because I remember when they were talking about Russell Wilson was trying to, you know what? I feel you, Pete, because now thinking about everything, he must have came in with a team of people into your office talking about we need to get some linemen, we need to do this and that. He didn't want to wear a play sheet on his, the armband with the plays in it. He didn't want to wear that. And
this is weird.
It's weird. Like you're a weirdo. He's a weirdo. Now, it makes sense that Pete Carroll told him, "Hey, get the fuck out of my office."
He's like the waitress that has to memorize everybody's order.
It's like, dude, I have to call your agent to talk to you. Get the fuck out of here. So I mean, look, I'm very happy for Geno Smith because, I mean, when he was with the Jets, I was like, God damn, this nigga sucks. But
again,
Jets. Yeah, of course. But again, a lot of it comes down to who are the people that are directly influencing that player in the franchise. Your position coach, your head coach, your general manager. These people are crucial to your development. You don't even realize how crucial they are. But to the public, you see how crucial it is, because if a guy's playing really good, a lot of times their growth is attributed to the coaching, obviously, that they receive, and the tailoring of their systems to benefit them. And when they are sucking, it's not because they don't have talent. It's because they're a lot of times not being coached well. And don't get it twisted. There are a lot of coaches in the NFL who are only there because they know somebody.
Boy,
There are a lot.
of
And they don't know shit. And they ain't ever even played NFL football. They barely coached. There's a lot of nepotism in the NFL with motherfuckers who don't know shit. And I done been coached by one of them. And I was like, bruh, I can't we can't win with this system you have here. I'm just sorry.
We'll just throw this guy in this room here. He'll be all right.
Yeah. We'll go ahead and make him the coordinator. I mean, look what Jeff Saturday did. He made some fucking 30-year-old assistant the offensive coordinator. What did you think was going to happen? How much football you think he really knows? You know what I mean?
I mean, my Madden rating is like pretty high.
Yeah. Hey, I'm undefeated in my franchise on Madden. So, anyways, let's keep moving here. We get through these scores. Of course, the traditional back-end collapse of the Arizona Cardinals continues as they lose to the Chargers. Chargers winning in overtime. Was it overtime?
Really took off.
Yeah, they never even took off.
This was another game that they went for 2 at the end.
Yeah, they went for 2 and
dropped the nuts for the win, which I always like. I love Justin
Herbert, man. I think that dude is going to be he's a fucking superstar. He has got the best deep ball in the NFL.
He is awesome.
He's just, it's been a rough year because they got a lot of injuries. He's and a lot of the injuries were on the O-line. So he has been getting suplexed every which way.
Keenan Allen.
Yeah, and Mike Williams.
Keenan Allen was out for a while. Yep.
I think
last week.
Mike Williams
was out too, the tight end, for a couple games. So
yeah,
he'll be all right. He'll be good.
Oh yeah, no
he's
doubt.
He'll be fine. They're gonna need to. They got to get their defense right, but he'll be fine.
Oh yeah, that's too.
Kansas City. I mean, LA. I mean, look, LA said, "Fuck y'all."
Now Aaron Donald's got the ankle, I think.
Oh yeah, he's done. Oh, I'm gonna get surgery. Yeah, okay, he's done.
Shut it down.
Matt Stafford's in concussion protocol too.
That's like 3 or 4 weeks now.
I mean, hell, even what's his name? McVay got his shit wrong.
Oh my god, yeah. I forgot about that. The slow-mo really just
He's in concussion protocol, probably. Shit.
Yeah, has to be.
But I mean, I don't think I remember ever seeing a team that just won a Super Bowl fucking cave like this, though. 3-8.
The Bengals at the beginning of the season, they appeared in a Super Bowl, but they also had that slump for a minute. I was wondering that earlier this year. I was like, have 2 teams that have both gone to a Super Bowl just kind of sucked this bad to kick off?
Didn't even make the postseason the next year.
Yeah, right. For real. Both of them, maybe. I mean, the Bengals, hopefully they will, but they need some help.
Yeah, they're no shoe-in.
Yeah, they're no shoe-in for sure.
For a while, they were looking pretty poor, especially up front.
Well, that O-line needed a little time to gel because they were looking like shit. I thought they were going to be much better coming out the gate.
Yeah, they went out and fixed it too, and it still wasn't. I mean, it does take time.
Yeah, they spent bread. They spent bread on it too. I just feel like it actually has to be I mean, you see guys playing on the field, and you can kind of tell sometimes when cats is really they just, try not to get hurt. And I mean,
they're beyond that.
Yeah, now they're like, motherfucker, we are counting the days till I get to go to Vegas after my exit interview.
Yep.
Because I mean, they're looking to the end of the season to get the fuck out of there.
They're just like, hey, pick your knees up at the end of every play. I'm not trying to get rolled up on.
Mm-hmm. That was a manufactured Super Bowl win, because any team that built from the ground up and went through the fucking growing pains and the trials and tribulations and they win that Super Bowl, they want another one. And they're going for another one. And sometimes they fall flat because of injuries, but rarely do they fall flat because they just stop giving a fuck. And it feels like they just stop giving a fuck. And hey, you're in LA. I guess bright lights out there, it can happen. But
a lot of better things to do.
I don't think I've seen a team that won a Super Bowl look this bad the next year. Like, look bad.
Jalen Ramsey looked lost yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
Travis Kelce had his ass skating.
Yeah,
he did. He looked lost
Best
out there
cornerback in the
yesterday.
league, my ass. He got exposed in the Super Bowl and it's carried over. It followed him.
Yeah, but he got his bag. And you know what?
Yeah.
I think that he knew that the Jacksonville environment was toxic and was very more vocal about it than other players. And I'm glad that he was, because somebody needed to fucking say it.
Yeah, I mean, look, when you cross that line and start making comments about, and then revealing the true nature of the situation, whether it be toxic, whether it be, whether it be just incompetent, whatever it might be,
Both.
you're done. That's how it is. I mean, that's where the league will retaliate, but they'll retaliate in a way that you cannot complain. You can't say they retaliated. You'll just be done because they can cut you whenever they want or trade you.
People don't want to hear it either, but I think AJ Boye was better in the 2017 season anyway.
Argument for that. AJ Boye, they were definitely the best tandem cornerbacks in the AFC for sure.
AJ Boye didn't allow a touchdown against him until the 2017 AFC Championship game that season.
Well, that's pretty damn good.
Mm-hmm.
And they were throwing to him more than they were throwing to Ramsey at that point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because they
Ramsey
considered
was
him to
seen
be
as
that number 2.
Yeah. But then Boye, where did Boye go? Boye went to Denver and just he came from Denver. He went to where did they trade him to?
I don't remember. I don't know where he's at right now.
Fuck, ain't in the league. He's out.
Hey, that just shows you how fleeting that shit is.
Yeah, this shit is quick. I mean, it's fleeting. Like, I bet
he's a free agent.
Yeah, he's out the league. That means he's kind of out the league right now.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. But that's been 5 years since then?
Yeah, 5 years.
5 years and you out. That's crazy. All right, let's keep going here. Get through the rest of this. Cowboys beat the Giants. Giants are going to need a quarterback. That's what it boils down to for them. Daniel Jones is a manager, and I think that you can be a managing quarterback and be successful for a long time in the NFL. But the problem is, you got to be able to throw some touchdowns. You got to be able. You have to be able to make. I mean, it's not like 20 years ago NFL where you could, you're as long as he's throwing like a 5-yard slant or a drag, the rest of the offense relies on the run game because you're going to run 35 times. Now you got to be able to make a play downfield with the ball, and Daniel Jones can at times, but usually he doesn't. Even when he's running, I mean, and he's fast.
He is.
He can extend a play with his legs. And for some reason, he has games where defenses just don't figure out that he will and can take the fuck off.
Yeah.
But I think that it's come down to good coaching. And I didn't expect it from Brian Daboll, but that's what it is. This team's injured. They don't have any depth. They don't have great starters. This is coaching and them just refusing to die.
Yeah. No. You're 100% correct, because it is like he did. Daboll changed their culture like instantly.
And I didn't expect it.
I think, I didn't even know who the fuck he was when they hired him. I was like, who is this short motherfucking dwarf? Who is this? But to his credit, he changed the culture. And that's the first thing that has to change in order for a team to be successful, is the culture. And he made the most out of this roster. I can tell you that. Because they have deficiencies at the wide receiver position like no other team in the NFL. And they made the most out of it. So I think Saquon's resurgence is massive for the franchise. I think now that changes how they look at him. They may keep him now, because I mean,
You
he
can
carried
build.
him for like
Yeah,
five
and you can build
of
around
their
him.
wins were on him. Yeah, and you can build around him. Yeah, you get him a quarterback that can. Because how much better would Saquon Barkley be if you had a quarterback that threatened the secondary?
Oh yeah, I mean you're seeing 8-man boxes all the time.
Yeah, yeah.
The
I mean, first down, second down,
respectable quarterback,
8-9
you're
man
gonna have
box.
to- yeah,
He's also got hands. Like you can't. He's got
He can
hands.
catch
Like
it.
he could be versatile at times.
Yeah, yeah. He is what I mean. Look, he's the kind of running back that in like the mid 90s, early 2000s, this motherfucker would be he would be
30 carries a
he might
game.
fuck around. Yeah, he'd be getting 30 carries a game.
I mean, he ain't far from it now.
I mean, they're leaning on him heavy, but I mean, the Giants got a lot that they can work on. But I mean, look, nobody expected this year from them. Period.
And now they
Nobody.
might make the post.
And now they might make the post. And even with that, now they have so much more to build on than they probably thought they had at the beginning of the season, because now you have players who didn't look good when you got there, but they've started to grow since you've been there. And that changes your perception on what the problem was, that they didn't have any direction or leadership. They didn't have anything to help them grow. And that's huge. And that's why I say Trevor Lawrence's rookie season in a lot of, like, to me as a player, I would say that his rookie season doesn't count. His rookie season was not a rookie season in any sense of the word. He was thrown into a fire pit with no safety. And look, it's like the same thing that happened with Blaine Gabbert. That's why I really got nervous for Trevor last season, because I was like, yo, that's what they did to Blaine Gabbert. They're about to do it to Trevor Lawrence. I was like, that ruined Gabbert's career. Gabbert's career was ruined by his second season. It was ruined. People don't even know how bad it was. His quarterback coach had never been a quarterback coach before in his career. He was a tight ends coach. And they moved him to quarterback coach. It was a lame duck head coach with Del Rio. Everybody knew they were getting fired at the end of the year. And then they came in with this motherfucker from Cincinnati who was the offense coordinator in Cincinnati, and his system was so garbage. I was like, yo, these routes are fucking terrible. I'm looking at the plays. He's like, what are they? Like, it's not. It was just so. It was like if you're using a cell phone and you're using an analog phone. That was the difference. And everybody tried too hard to make him good when what he needed was he needed people to build around him, not just try to work on him. Like it was just all about, okay, he's got issues here and there. No, you need to get him some fucking receivers. Because I've been here, what was this, 5 or 6 years at that point, and I'm like, and we ain't had receivers but 1 year. And that was Justin Blackmon.
Right.
Justin Blackmon.
People don't even understand how good that cat was. That cat would have been the best receiver in the NFL if he wasn't an alcoholic.
He's my Fortnite skin.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Oh shit. Nice.
Yep.
But yeah, it's coaching has a lot to do with players' personal success, personal growth. They have a lot to do with it. And if you don't have the right coach, that's why I talk so much about our O-line coach in Jacksonville with Andy Heck. You know where Andy Heck is right now? O-line coach in Kansas City. Been there since he left Jacksonville. Their offensive line, probably top 3 in the NFL. Cats, you're not sacking Patrick Mahomes. No, you're not going to sack him. Just stay in coverage. They don't blitz him because they can't sack him. And, you have a good teacher, man, I know the game on a whole different level because of my offensive line coach, because he taught it that way. He played 13 years in the NFL.
Right.
You know what I mean? He played against Derek Thomas, the Derek Thomas. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like he did. He also gave up 8 sacks to him.
Hey, that could have been anybody.
Could have been that. Would have been anybody too, for real. But anyways, let's keep rolling here. We're almost done. We can wrap this up. We're like an hour over, but hey, it's been fun. I've been enjoying this. Where we at? Okay, Cowboys beat Giants. Yeah, I mean, you can talk about the Cowboys if you want.
I don't need to say a whole bunch about this one. Everybody saw this one. most watched game in like history or some shit. Something.
Oh, was it for real?
It was like 42
Really?
million viewers.
I didn't know that.
I imagine it would be a
that.
huge game.
Something ridiculous. Something ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm gonna check those Yeah, somebody check those ratings. Hey, chat. Somebody check those ratings on the Cowboys Giants game. They're saying there's a record viewership. Washington, the Washington Commanders, the Commies. I didn't expect them to beat my Falcons.
Me either.
I thought this was a coin
Falcons
toss.
are getting the Falcons. I think the Falcons are getting there though. I think they're finally
Definitely.
starting to recover from that Super Bowl.
Definitely.
I'm
and
seeing it.
that division's got to switch at some point. You know what I mean? Like, it was the Saints for a long time. Tom Brady's going to eventually retire. Byron Leftwich is going to go somewhere else. A lot of those coaches are going to get other jobs and move on. And at some point, the Falcons are on that come up. They'll easily be the top of that division in the next 2-3 years. And Marcus Mariota's playing really well. Like, nobody expected that either.
I've been saying it. Hey, if I'm the Falcons, I'm keeping him for another year or two. Because he has like been mistake free all season, almost all season, and he's been smart. He's been leading them boys. I'm not gonna lie.
Absolutely. There's not a rookie I'm gonna get rid of him for.
Yeah, I mean, they're gonna. I mean, didn't they draft a quarterback in like third?
Desmond Ridder. Yeah,
Ritter.
which goes back to your point of, like some of the best quarterbacks do sit behind someone for a couple years of their career.
Yeah.
Do I think that Marcus Mariota is the best guy to learn behind? No, but he's having a great point in his career where if you're going to learn behind Marcus Mariota, it could be right now.
Yeah, and also, I mean, look, if you look at Marcus Mariota's timeline in the NFL, he was that quarterback that got drafted in the first round, big draft pick, gets thrown to the wolves pretty quickly. It's streaky at the best, and mostly underwhelming.
Sure.
And a lot of people were asking questions. Well, what's wrong? He's the athlete. He's got the arm. He's got the smarts. Yada yada. He doesn't know this shit yet. There's a point when the light comes on and you see the game. It goes from looking like this to looking like this, and you can turn your head now and see things. Well,
you turn
what happened
25, frontal lobe.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like everything opens up. And the crazy thing about Mariota is that he went to Oakland when they were Oakland, sat on the bench. It was a situational quarterback they put in certain situations to run, RPO.
Packages.
But he got to sit behind Derek Carr. He got to sit behind, I don't want to give John Gruden no credit for being any kind of mentor kind of figure or anything like that. But I think he was coaching when Mariota was there, right? Was he? Or am I tripping? Yeah, he was there.
Yeah,
him and Mike Mayock.
A little bit.
Yeah,
Mike Mayock.
He would have had to be.
Okay.
So you get to like at least soak up knowledge. And when you're a player who had a kind of a rough start to your career and you had so much expectations, to be able to sit down for a minute and just see the game now that you played in it, and you can sit back and look at it from kind of the outside as a backup, and you can see things now much more clearly than you could as a player on the field. So now the next time you get on the field, you can actually operate more efficiently. You can operate more, a little bit more methodically, because, I mean, you look at how he performs. Even when he was in Oakland, he performed pretty decently when they put him in. But when he came to Atlanta, nobody expected a damn thing. But this motherfucker has definitely impressed me with his decision-making the most. He's just not doing like reckless shit. And he's pretty accurate. He throws the ball pretty well. So I think if they're, this time in his career, like you said, Kendra, this time in his career is the perfect time to learn from somebody who's already been through that path, already gone down that road. And he can tell you so much more now about the game as a young quarterback than he could have 5 years ago. And, of course, it's not going to resonate fully with the young quarterback because he ain't been on the field yet. He has to experience that to understand it. But you're made aware of it, so when you see it, the light will come on because you'll recognize and you'll connect those dots. So I mean, it really does play into there. That's the thread that can create. That's the kind of thread that can create a line of good players out of one franchise. You know, for as much as people say Brett Favre was a dickhead, I'm sure Aaron Rodgers picked up some things from Brett Favre. He
Was
could
that a
tell
pun?
he did. I see what you did there. Yeah, he did say, yeah, he was sending dick pics all over the place.
They weren't impressive either.
How's the Wisconsin welfare system going?
Oh, yeah. How about the welfare king, Brett Favre? Have your crown, king.
It turns out that there's no money in Wisconsin for welfare.
I thought it was Mississippi.
Yeah, Mississippi.
No, I'm saying if Aaron Rodgers picked that up from him.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. If he picked up the scamming game from Brett Favre, because Brett Favre got that scamming game down. All right, here we go. Last couple scores here. Niners shutout. The Saints. The Saints are going into there. I feel like they're going to literally nuke that team at the end of the season and start over, which makes sense, you know.
Yeah. It's the quarterback position for me. It's like, why is Andy Dalton starting over Jameis Winston? And if you're gonna pick between the two of them, why are you not just playing Taysom Hill at that point? Like, if you're gonna exile Jameis Winston, who I think should be your starter for fucking Andy Dalton.
Is he hurt? Is he hurt?
Not anymore. Not
He
anymore.
started off being hurt, but then he was ready to go, and they just stuck with Andy Dalton.
At that point, ride Taysom Hill.
1 or 2 games, everyone was like, "Oh, a passable NFL quarterback," and they just stuck with him.
Wild.
And then the next week, 3 interceptions.
Yeah. Right.
Yep.
That's the Andy Dalton game.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look, I really thought they had something with Jameis Winston, but I think the problem is that this is a team that you've seen lose too much over the last few years in the same. I'm like, okay, so Drew Brees, Purdue alum, boiler up. Drew Brees won a Super Bowl, but just like Aaron Rodgers, over the next decade, the same thing happened year in and year out. Get to the playoffs, losing the first round, or get to the playoffs, losing the divisional round, or get to the playoffs and losing the first round. And then it happened repeatedly. And in the most recent time of it, this roster is the one that's been doing all that losing. I think at a certain point, the juju of all that losing caps how good that roster can be without somebody who can operate it in the way that Sean Payton could. And they don't have anybody who can operate it the way Sean Payton did.
It's not that juju. It's the crab legs stealing from Publix juju. You don't disrespect Publix like that and get to have a good career. You just don't.
And he been eating W's, which it looked weird, like he was eating crab legs. And I'm like, bruh. But, I mean, look, Jameis Winston, I didn't think he was going to be a good quarterback coming out of college anyways, to be honest. I didn't think he was going to be good. I wondered why he was so highly touted coming out of Florida State. He didn't look like he could throw the ball. His balls didn't look very good at all. But he can throw. He is a gunslinger quarterback, but in the worst way. Because for every touchdown he gives you, you're getting an interception with it.
Right.
30 for 30. We all know. And that's how, and unfortunately for him.
30 turnovers and still put up, 5,000 whatever yards. God dang, you give away that many possessions and still you just cut that in half.
Well, there was a video. There was a video that I'm sorry to cut you off there. There was a video that I remember watching it like 2 years ago, maybe 2 or 3 years ago, where they broke down every one of his interceptions. About 18 of them were on him. 18 of them were on him. Like, bro, what are you doing? Like, not even like, but then the others were receivers ran wrong route. Ball got tipped, went like 20 yards in the air. A lot of those were that. So really, yes, he got 30 interceptions, but really the interceptions he threw were about 18. And it didn't look, it looks, which, I mean, 18 picks in the season is still a lot. But, I mean, if you got 30 touchdowns to go with it, I expect you'll probably be in the playoffs. Yeah. So, I mean, that was probably the difference with that team because they had a good defense back then too. So, but, the Saints, look, it's blow-up time for them. That's what it's going to be. It's blow up time for them. And the Eagles beat Green Bay, obviously, but I feel like Green Bay is next on chopping block because Aaron Rodgers is going to be done. So what they're going to have to do, well, no, they can't even get rid of Aaron Rodgers.
They had your chance.
He will play next week if available.
Because they can't get rid of him. They literally, if they try to get rid of him, they won't be able to sign anybody for 2 years. With all that
What
dead
a
money
shit
and all
show.
that cap. And that's where, like we said before, that's where the asshole in him cost the team, is that he held them hostage and basically twisted their arm to give him all the money he wanted. And then you follow it up with a shitty season. You can't write that type of shit. It's just, but the Eagles, what about Jalen Hurts? I think Jalen Hurts is the front runner for the MVP right now. He's got to be.
Yeah. He's got to be, especially because and you hate to bring like background stories into these conversations, but I think that it's impossible to avoid the Jalen Hurts conversation right now that we were kind of, not we, because I don't know you guys' take on it, but at the beginning of the season, I know me and a lot of other media members were like, Jalen Hurts really needs to have this breakthrough season because he's due for a contract. Nobody expected them to be this good. Nobody expected them to win this division. Hell, nobody even thought that they would have been undefeated for as long as they were, let alone be Super Bowl favorites for a lot of people. Jalen Hurts just turned his career around and made himself a freaking payday. How do you not take that story into consideration for an MVP conversation?
It certainly makes you feel good.
Yeah, you're definitely correct on that. A lot of people were really like, a lot of people kind of were expecting him to be a bust.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of people, like low key, people were like, Jalen Hurts. I was indifferent because I didn't really watch him at Oklahoma. Like, motherfucker, I don't care about Oklahoma. But when's the last time a good quarterback came out of there? But dude is balled out. He's the best quarterback in the NFL overall right now.
He's awesome.
He's
and off the field.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's a good dude in the community too. Yeah.
He has an all-female marketing team.
Oh yeah, that's right. He does.
Yeah,
here's my question. Why does he need a marketing team?
Everybody, are you kidding? Everybody needs a marketing team if you're in the NFL. Think about it. Like, not only is it something to help control your image, but it's also like, think about Lamar Jackson, what happened to him the other day. You lose a game, you get pissed and you go out on Twitter. Who handles that? Your PR and your marketing team.
All he did was delete the tweet.
Yeah, because somebody was probably like, hey, motherfucker.
I ain't even gonna front. If I was him, I wouldn't have deleted it.
I wouldn't have deleted it. It's already on the internet anyway.
I would have been like, I didn't say anything about gay people. I said something about this motherfucker right here. And when I say that this motherfucker ain't done shit all day but eat dick, that means he ain't done shit all day but eat dick. That don't mean got nothing to do with gay people. That's an insult that squarely entails the individual. And everybody says that pretty much. Like,
that's my D.
Eat a dick,
I say it all the time.
How many times have you heard that? But look, hypersensitive society we live in, so you do have to be considerate of certain things that can, put you in a bad light. And as a public figure like that, yeah, sure, you can delete it. Does that change that? Look, you posted it and it already got clipped by everybody who fucking liked it. They all got screenshots. So right. Yeah, exactly, right? So it doesn't matter. Leave it up.
Yeah. I almost made it my Twitter banner. And then I found out there was a bunch of bullshit going on with it. And I was like, well, damn, as a bisexual woman, I can't condone that, I guess.
And then you look at remember when Antonio Brown brought the bag of dicks to his ex's
that man.
Hey, that dude the CTE is ravaging his brain.
Him and Kanye should go to rehab together or therapy. Maybe both.
Man, Kanye, I can't even believe it. Kanye done went off the goddamn. He ain't even. This motherfucker is.
So y'all not voting for the West Brown ticket?
the West Fuentes
No.
ticket.
Oh, West Brown.
Shit.
That's AB's gonna be his running mate.
Oh, man.
Oh shit.
Mm.
Yeah, Kanye's situation is really that's. Yeah, I guess it's
Kardashian
it would make a great Greek track. You know what? You're damn right. We thought that Kanye avoided it. Nope.
Hell no.
It just was waiting on him at the end of the road.
I don't
all
know
of
that
them.
shit, man.
Damn,
of
them
them.
bitches be getting everybody.
Nobody's safe.
Nobody has survived them yet. Not
Nope.
one man has survived the Kardashian. I met Kim Kardashian 2 times. My agent introduced me to her. She's pretty short. I was like, damn, I thought you would be taller.
She is
She's
teeny.
like 5 foot, like fucking 3.
Knee high to a grasshopper, that girl.
Yeah. But damn, yeah. Nobody survived them. Nobody. All right. So that's gonna be it, folks. We made it. We went over by like an hour, but we did enjoy a good show tonight. We do appreciate y'all for hanging in there with us. And Kendra, tell us about what you got going on. I know you're a Twitch affiliate as well. You be streaming live. We got to get on COD.
Yes.
But tell the people in the audience about you. About where they can find you.
You can find me on Instagram at Kendra Middleton, on Twitter at Kenny with an I Middleton. You can follow me on Twitch if you like watch parties for sports or COD or Warzone or whatever. But yeah, that's where you can find me.
Yeah, we do appreciate you being on here with us too. I mean, really, really do appreciate it. Thank you for giving your time and hanging out with us. Hopefully we can get you back on again soon. Friend of the show now. So we're going to be asking.
Perfect.
We're going to be asking.
This was fun.
So
the Jags could look.
yeah, we definitely do appreciate you. As for everybody else out there, we hope y'all are having a wonderful Monday night. Don't know who won the game. Don't even know if it's over yet.
Colts are up 17-16.
Fuck.
Yeah.
How many yards up? Okay, come on, JT. Come on, give me 22 more yards. Get over that 100-yard mark so I can get this fantasy win. But we do appreciate y'all for being here with us, folks, and we will see y'all on Wednesday for our week 13 predictions with Urinating Tree and 5-point vids. But until then, hope you'll have a good one. We'll catch y'all all on the next one. Y'all be safe out there. We'll see y'all.
Peace.
Peace out.